Okay, folks, we back again. Let me see here. Let me check this audio. Yeah, audio's good. Audio's good. All right. Got a few things to talk about this week. That's why I wanted to stretch it on out from yesterday to today. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it in another minute or so. Got about 70 y'all in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We're 10 people now. All right, cool. We got about 10 people. Welcome. We always just over here live streaming, talking mixed martial arts, women's mixed martial arts to be more accurate. All right. So let me just pull a couple things up because I just saw something today that just caught my eye. And I want to add it to the talk now. So hold on one second. Let me just type it in. There we go. Okay. Just pulling some things up here, then we can jump right into it. Let's see. I got about 10 people in here. I'm glad y'all are coming through. Oh, what's going on, Lolita? Feel like I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope everything is good. We back in here talking some WMMA again, like always, right? Well, like I said, hope everything good. Stick Summer Dog said a lot of good female fights coming up. Yeah, we got a lot of good fights. And I don't think it's gonna stop. Bellator got some stuff I need to talk about. I just been talking a lot of UFC and Invicta stuff, but yeah, Bellator's got some fights. Maybe we can discuss that too. Runner Reedy, what's up? He said, good evening. Everyone tuning in. Yeah. Tuning in while you work it out. Marcus Bell, what's up? Mark Robinson said he listening while he programming. All right. All good. It's all good. Okay, here we go. So yeah, man, welcome back. We got a few people in here now, about 10 of y'all. So let's go ahead and talk. Yeah, a few things I just wanted to talk about. It's fight week. So I want to go back and talk about Torres and Dern a little bit, because I talked about a little bit yesterday, but I had BJ in here. We were talking about some other stuff, but I want to kind of go in on the breakdown a little bit of Tisha Torres and Mackenzie Dern. I just want to really discuss who has the wild card factor in Mackenzie Dern fight? Like, who's the most dangerous fighter in this match? How big of a chance does Mackenzie Dern have of maybe, pulling off the biggest upset here, by submitting Tisha Torres? Because I know a lot of people think Mackenzie Dern can go in there and get it done in that fashion, but you never really seen Tisha Torres in that type of danger ever. I've seen her in, some of the toughest fights where she's lost, but you never really seen like Tisha just get not dominant. She has been dominated in some of her fights, but she's never really been like hurt, and she's just she's never been finished, right? So that's something I want to talk about there. Juliana Pena, she's been in the news a little bit more, and I just want to go in and discuss her rematch with Nunes a little bit. And we're talking about Kayla Harrison again. Like, it ain't really gossip, man. It's just kind of funny that, she was talking about Juliana Pena was, discussing the choice of Kayla Harrison's direction as far as her career. She's talking about, she wants to continue to fight tomato cans, continue to do that. And, Kayla Harrison actually addressed fans saying that. But, now somebody like Juliana Pena is saying that. So what does that say? Right. So let's talk about that. I want to talk Rose and Carla. I haven't been talking a lot about it, which I should be, right? Because the fight is happening, So Rose, Carla, too. We'll talk that. And this just popped up. Miranda Maverick just did an interview today. She called out Molly McCann, right? So I want to go in on that a little bit as well. Straya, what's going on? Mojo, what's up? Marcus Bell said the thing is, how does some people expect Mackenzie to get the takedown other than capitalizing off of Tisha's mistake? All right. Yeah, let's start with this first. Let's all start with this topic first. Let's start Tisha Torres, Mackenzie Dern, because that's this weekend. This is on the main card of UFC 273, which I'm glad, we got a good strawweight fight on this card. Top 10 fighters. Tisha's been in this game for a minute now. I got a lot of respect for her as a fighter. Same with Mackenzie Dern. I respect her as a fighter because she has been trying to, build and improve. But this, even though Tisha Torres is ranked lower, this is a big test for Mackenzie Dern. I mean, y'all agree on that? I mean, this is a big test for Mackenzie Dern. I mean, Mackenzie Dern, she's faced some decent competition, but if you look at how she's been moved, she's been in the right place at the right time to kind of get elevated faster. Like, it's not the same way Marina Rodriguez. Like, Marina Rodriguez, you can look at her resume, and man, she's had to fight hard fight after hard fight to get to where she's at now, right? And she's still not fighting for the belt yet. She's still got to wait Carla's spot. She's got to wait for Carla to get her spot. So Marina, that was a fighter that worked hard for it. Not saying Mackenzie hasn't, but Mackenzie Dern doesn't really have that same type of resume. So even though she's ranked higher, I still think Tisha presents a big threat. She presents a big test for her because Tisha's been through it all. I mean, again, I like to mention the 4 fights where she lost in a row, because not like I'm trying to down her that, she got beat by 4 fighters, but no, like, she's faced 4 tough fighters in a row, and she's went the distance with all of them. Marina, Joanna, Andrade, and Zhang Wei Li. And, she's gave them all competitive fights. It just came down to her not having, let's be honest, she didn't have the right tools to beat them. She was too small. Because if you go in there with a good big fighter, they are going to beat the good little fighter, right? So Joanna, Marina, they just had too much for her. But if you go back and look at the Andrade fight, she had some good moments in there. She just couldn't hurt her. She just really couldn't hurt Andrade. Andrade is just that little powerhouse, and Andrade couldn't stop her. So Tisha's got a lot going for her. To survive against Andrade, to me, that says a lot about, not just her technical style, but her character as well. Like, she's never given up in a fight. Like, she's never been broken. That's why I'm surprised, she's never made it to number 2 or even, fought for the belt yet, And I think it might just come down to size when it's all said and done, right? I think that's what it is, because good big fighters are always going to beat the good little fighters, right? As long as there's a Joanna in a Marina that's standing in her way, that knows how to keep short fighters back, they're always gonna succeed, right? But in this case, Dern, we can't really say like, she's a really, really good fighter yet, right? We can't say that yet. This is a test for her. TJ was, he said, keep Kayla's name out your mouth. Oh, we getting to that. Don't worry. Stick Dog said Tiny Tornado beats Dern. Yeah, well, that's my pick, which I'll tell y'all why I'm picking her, but in a minute here. But yeah, Tisha, seen so many different looks. So, Mackenzie Dern, to me, still needs a few more different looks on her side. And, this is one of those tests for her to be considered elite. Because, you saw how she looked in a 5-round fight with Marina. She had her moments, but that was only 1 round. A lot of people did pick Mackenzie Dern to win. They thought she was going to get the submission. But I said, no, I got to pick Marina. And Marina's just too much more of a polished, skilled fighter, So same can be said going into this fight. What is it that Mackenzie Dern has that's really, really going to be a threat for somebody on Tisha's level? Even though Tisha's ranked lower, she still has a lot more tools, I think. So Marcus said the thing about the thing is, how do some people expect Mackenzie to get the takedown other than capitalizing off of Tisha's mistakes? Right. So somebody like Tisha, who already kind of fights cautious, do you really think she'll fall for some of the okey doke, from Mackenzie Dern, like some of the same bull rushes and overhand rights? You know, if she makes that mistake like ABC and drops her hands and eats a right hand, eats an overhand right, I mean, that's possible. But somebody like Tisha that's already going to be on alert to stay away from the fighter that's going to want to get it to the ground, that's already won against Mackenzie, because the footwork of Tisha Torres, I think, is going to be problems, and the speed is going to be problems. I think the speed is going to be problems here because Tisha's just faster. Tisha's just faster, and she knows how to use it. She knows how to fight off the back foot. She knows how to get in and get out. I did my round by round the other day, and you saw her land some nice right hands on Jessica Andrade's chin. Like, too bad she just didn't have that power to hurt her, because every time she hit Andrade would just come back harder. But she does have, nice hand speed here and just overall movement. So really, if people are picking Dern by submission, like, how is Mackenzie Dern going to take Tisha Torres down? When you look at fighters like Zhang Wei Li and Andrade, again, they had trouble taking her down. And I think even like when they fought, who else did she fight? Did she fight Randa Marcos? A couple fighters I've seen, have trouble taking her down. So Tisha's a really good wrestler. And they think the size is going to be a problem. But to me, Mackenzie Dern's size is kind of like Macy Barber. She's big. She can be, she comes in kind of thick. And she's not even as thick as she used to be because, she's more muscular since she started kind of looking at her weight and being a little bit smart about it. But, Mackenzie never really just came off as like a physically strong fighter. She's never come off as that type of fighter that's going to be throwing you around and ragdolling you. So I don't really see that being an issue there on the inside for Tisha, where Mackenzie's going to go in and out wrestle her and get her down. Because that's one of the things we've been saying is Mackenzie Dern's wrestling needs work. That's what she needs to get these fights to the ground. Because we think the submissions she scored usually are by other people's mistakes or her knocking people down. Like, I think it was Randa tried to take her down, right? And then Hannah Cyphers, I mentioned that, she had tried to go in, spent too much time in that moment where Mackenzie Dern could find the leg, to latch on to and get that heel hook. You know what I mean? So it might have to be one of those little mistakes where Mackenzie Dern is trying for the takedown, but as she falls, she's going to lock on to an ankle, right? So every moment, every minute, you have to be gone. You have to be out of there. You can't go to the ground with her. So I think if Tisha Torres doesn't even try to grapple or take Dern down and spend time on the ground, she should be safe. Mark Robinson said Tisha's low-key amazing. All her losses are absolute killers. If Marina comes champ one day, Tisha will only have lost to champs. Yeah, that's true. That's everybody she's lost to has touched the belt, so that tells you how good she is. Marcus said you could give Dern for beating Nina Azaroff. Then again, how much credit does Dern get for beating the Nina who's been out for 2 years? Right. Like, that's why I say, yeah, like, that's the one name, but even then it's a little hard because she's been out 2 years and there's not really like a resume behind it where it's like just a consistent track record of good fighters. Like, it wasn't like Carla, Jan Zhaunan, Michelle Waterson, Tisha Torres early on. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that many names on there. It was always just somebody at the right time to get her where she needed to be. And when it was Ebos, you saw how that fight went. TJ said, little as she is beat Rose and got robbed. Yeah, that fight was first fight and the second fight. Straight, I'm leaning towards Tisha. Just all around too strong. Straight said Dern carried that knee injury into the Marina fight, but I don't think it made much difference to the outcome. Nah, like, her approach looked like exactly how I thought she would fight. You know what I mean? TJ said, Brian, don't start with that. Casey O'Neill missed tonight. Oh, yeah, we won't. I mean, yeah, because that wasn't me. It wasn't me. I ain't start that. I was on, comparisons came in and, but we'll stop. I ain't going to start. Um, Brian said she didn't beat Rose in the second fight. I'm Team Tisha. We'll watch that fight again. Yeah, because it wasn't like some type of, one-sided beating for Rose or anything like that. So I'm going to watch it again. So, anyways, Tisha Torres, though, she actually has been working on being a little bit more offensive. She's been working on being, I think, a little bit more assertive with her kicks, her body kicks and, her punches. I think even in the second Angela Hill fight, she's kind of been working on that. Angela Hill's just a tough, durable fighter, so I think going into this fight, Tisha Torres, she could get that respect from Mackenzie Dern with this new approach, of landing good shots. But like I said yesterday, I would not advise her to stay in the pocket with Dern because, Dern, let's be honest, like since the last time Dern's fought, I'm sure she has grown a little bit more confident in her striking, and she probably has picked up some new pointers on what she did wrong. So we have to take that into consideration. Like what she did wrong in the Marina Rodriguez fight, maybe she corrected it for this fight. So, fans, they don't think that way. Fans have to understand, like, we know time and time again, some fighters don't improve, but it takes an actual performance to see that before we can gauge that. So we can't go in this fight automatically saying Dern won't be able to land on Torres. She might be able to, only if Tisha stays in the pocket where she don't need to be. It has to be the same as the Andrade fight. The thing about this one is, she's longer. Dern's a little bit longer, a little bit taller. So it has to be, an angle game here. It has to be speed. It has to be her speed here, her combinations, and only using her wrestling if she can keep it against the cage and keep it standing, right? We have just avoid the ground at all costs. Avoid the ground at all costs. I mean, if you get off some ground and pound and control her a little bit in side control for 30 seconds, I wouldn't even recommend that. Dern is just too much of a whiz on the ground. So we ain't even gonna push that and try to say Torres can hang with her here. See, Torres has a good mixture of everything to hang. You know what I mean? She can hang on the feet. She can hang in the clinch. She can hang in her wrestling. She can do a little bit of everything. So that's what it is, man. I have to go with Tisha in this fight. I think Tisha's all around the better fighter. If it goes to the ground, it'll go more in Dern's favor, but who knows? I mean, Marina survived the full round. Marina survived the full round with Dern without getting submitted. So that kind of questions us, like, what's going to happen here? Like, what can Mackenzie Dern really do if she can't knock a girl down? Like, is she going to get takedowns? You know? So yeah, Tisha's not really that easy to take down, I don't think, is she? Unless you're Andrade and Zhang Wei Li, like, I don't really see her getting like handled by too many of these other strawweights out here. Of course, she has fought a lot of strikers that didn't want to take her down, but yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Tisha in this one for good reason. I gotta go with experience here and all around improvements in the right places. Because Mackenzie's gonna have to be like this pressure wrestler overnight. I don't know, man, because I don't know if she can push it for 3 rounds and maul Tisha here. Tisha's just a very good strong fighter. Let's see here. Jamin, what's up? He said Andrade lost first 2 rounds. Third wasn't 10-8 at all, and about 5 rounds narrative. What are you talking about? Look closely, Andrade gassed out by the end round as well. That's why Rose came. You talking about why you talking about Andrade Rose fight? We talking about Tisha Torres fight. I ain't talking about that fight. I'm talking about we talking about Tisha Torres. We talking about the Tisha Torres fight and the Rose fight. Stay on topic. Straya said, yeah. I'm gonna talk about that, Straya. Yeah, I'm talking about that. I'm gonna talk about Maverick calling out Meatball. We're gonna talk about that. I mean, she might. I mean, that's a possibility. They might lose. They both might lose, right? Runnery says it's okay to have an opinion, but no name calling. Oh yeah, you heard it, TJ. You know, we don't drop them names out here like that, man. You know, um, I know you just playing, but you know how it is. Brian said, I don't see how people won that. Well, I see. Just say me. I mean, because call me out because I said she won that fight. I mean, I'm not gonna argue about it, but you know me, I'm on here all the time backing up what I see with facts, Brian. So you know, it's all in if I decide to change my mind, Brian. So I can't see how you don't see how I see I win. You make it sound like the fight was so close. So we just gonna leave it at that because we ain't even really talking about that fight. So let's just let's stay on topic. I mean, like I said, I think she won the fight. Period. Stick Summer said I agree with going with Tisha in that fight. Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, man. Like I said, anything can happen. It's always going to be that submission factor for Mackenzie Dern, but I think Tisha's just been through too much. Like, been watching her for a minute, and she's always had a good, good head on her shoulders in fights. It's just that them elite fighters, man. Them elite fighters, they're just the ones that got her, right? They're just the ones that got her. So hold on. Yeah, I'm just looking at her resume again here. So okay, here we go. Yeah, Tisha's got a lot of good fighters on her resume. So what does it mean if Tisha wins or Mackenzie wins? I think that it doesn't mean title shot. It doesn't mean title shot, but it definitely means somebody is going to get a title eliminator probably. And that's what I'm saying about this division. It's crazy right now because this division has a lot of fighters you could argue is next for a title shot, right? It's not like flyweight, you know what I mean? Like this division, we're gonna have people say, uh-oh, Joanna comes back. All the Joanna fans are gonna say it's time for her to get her shot, right? And then there's an argument that she could get that title shot, right? Because she's credible, but not really right now because she's a 2-4 in her last 6 fights. But you got Andrade coming back. If Andrade can beat Amanda Lemos, what happens? Andrade going to try to ask for it. But can she really say that when Amanda Lemos is number 10? Right? So they could all get it, but there's going to have to be like a line. Like I'm going to say like this. This is my line. Like everybody that gets a title shot, it starts with Carla, goes with Marina, and from there it's kind of like fair game. It's going to be between Joanna, Andrade, Zhang Wei Li, but all of them are going to have to mix it up at least once to get it right. One of them is going to have to mix it up to kind of get into that spot. And I think the winner of Torres Dern is going to have to fight Zhang Wei Li. If Joanna doesn't want it, then we're going to have to do Zhang Wei Li. You know what I mean? So yeah. Colostrum, what's up? He said Kayla is fighting Marina. Kayla is fighting Marina. Oh, that Makalakina next. What do you think about her? I saw like a little bit of her footage. I have to look more at her, but I got Kayla in that fight. I'm just be real. I got Kayla in that fight. I think Kayla just too strong for a lot of the girls that she's facing in her division. You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Kayla here in a minute because I want to know what you think about that, Carlos. You know, Juliana Pena going in on it, so I want to discuss that a little bit here. So let's jump to that next. Lolita said, "What about Andrade versus Lemos? Lemos is looking like a beast." Um, I man, that fight is gonna be good, man. That fight's gonna be fireworks, man. I love it. I love it, man. It's crazy because it's not even really like a fight that we saw on the in the cards for the game, but I like it, man, because we got Lemos, power puncher. I think her striking, her overall IQ in striking, I think is better than Andrade's, but Andrade is getting better. I mean, what do you think, Olita? Like, it's a 5-round fight. Who you got? Who you got? Because Andrade's a 5-round fighter. Lemos, I think she is too, but who's gonna get stronger down the stretch? That's the question. I think. Like, who's gonna get stronger? And is Lemos gonna keep her jab pumping out? Because if she don't pump her jab out, it's over. You got to have that jab in this fight. It's got to be the jab in this fight, man. It's got to be the jab because the jab is gonna set up that knockout punch. She got a little right hand happy in Angela Hill fight, and I don't want to see that. So we got to see the jab, Amanda Lemos. I might DM her that. Look, I want to see the jab all night. Says, see what's up. He said, I'm gonna say it for the people in the back. He said, Joanna. Many people won't agree with me on that. You know that she ain't supposed to be fighting for the title right now. So let me see what y'all talking about. Says he's I hope Lemos wins. I want new blood. Yeah, I'm going for her in this fight, man. Because she's been working hard. So I am going for her. Colostrum said Pena won't stand a chance against Kayla. Yeah, it wasn't really a fight that she was talking about. She was talking about her resume. Hold on, let me pull this thing up. Let's see. Lolita said, make sure we got like 20 people in here. Make sure y'all always hit that like button too. Like I said, because some of y'all tell me y'all can't see y'all don't know when I come on live. So 20 some people, only 7 likes. So while y'all do that, I'm gonna pull up this Kayla Harrison thing. Or Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena be talking more. Hold on. Lolita said, I don't know. Lemos has to get in close. If she gets in close, she's gonna get grabbed. Says see, go for the right hand. Lemos knocks her out. Yeah, you just can't throw. You just can't throw a right hand without a jab, though. It's got to be the jab in the face. I mean, you can go for the right hand, but it's got to be the jab in the face because you don't set it up. Andrade's gonna see that coming. You just can't. You can't lead with a right hand unless you like blinding fast. Says see, I think Lemos actually submits Andrade. I think she would stop her before she submits her. Yeah, I would think she would stop her before she submit her though. Where is that thing, man? Hold on. Man. Summer said Lemos Andrade is going to be a fight to watch. Winner of that fight is number 2 behind Rose. Should be seen. I think it would be kind of be seen as a title eliminator. I don't know. You gotta get behind Marina. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, you gotta get behind Marina. The winner of that fight has to get behind Marina. Still, Marina's next in line. Marina's already what 4-0. So that's only fair. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. Pine case he's got Andrade for the knockout. TJ said I see Lemos making a mistake. She made a mistake that last fight but escaped. Straya said Zhang stopped Andrade, so no reason why Lemos can't. Right. But, styles make fights, and we got to look at how Andrade got stopped. Will Andrade be reckless like she was that fight? Maybe, maybe not. I think Lemos is. Nah, I think y'all agree with this. Lemos, I think, is a better. I think she's more of a precision puncher, and think she hits harder than Wei Lee. Yeah, I think so. I think Lemos hits a little bit harder. Well, she's just a little bit more accurate. Okay, here we go. So Juliana Pena talking about Kayla Harrison. She said, and this is an actual interview, it's just a text. She said, "Good luck making a career off beating tomato cans." And we talked about that term over here, but this is fighters actually going at it. Fighters are going at it here. Let's see. Juliana Pena, what else did she say? Let me pull this thing up. Let's see. Juliana Pena suggested Kayla Harrison's decision to engage in verbal warfare derived from the fact that she would return to PFL would mean she wouldn't have to follow up her words in the octagon. Wow. She said, how easy is it? Talk about WWE wrestling. How easy is it to say I'll beat Juliana with one arm tied behind my back, then sign a contract with PFL the next day? So she said, how easy is that? She said, basically, that's WWE wrestling. She said, how easy is it to say I'll beat Juliana Pena with one arm tied behind my back, then go sign with PFL the next day? And she says, easy to talk when you know nothing's going to happen. It's like Kayla's just running her mouth because she knows nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen of it. She just signed her life away to PFL, so best of luck with that. I hope it's, let's see, make your career off of beating tomato cans. That's great. Here's the thing, though. I understand it. Make your other Millie. What does she make? 2 million with them? Make your money, girl. Do your thing. Okay. So let's see what Kayla Harrison has to say coming back at that, because man, she's using them words. She's using them words. She just went in on WMMA media, and she just went on media talking about the quality of opponents. Kayla Harrison said, okay, these trolls behind their keyboards, they always just talk trash, or they talk about the fighters, they disrespect the people on my resume, right? But now Pena's using the same lingo, right? Now a fighter's actually using that. So there's actually some well, we all know that there's some hard evidence for that. So now she's actually putting a standpoint. And now that another fighter is actually using that term, what do we say here? What's the question? Is it true? I mean, is it true? Yes or no? See, the thing about Kayla is, like I said before, she's a gifted athlete. Yeah. Very strong. She's talented. But the way she talks, what she's saying in the lane of fighters that she's in right now are two different things to me. That's what I see. See, when you hear fighters like Nunes and Juliana Pena talk this trash, even Ronda Rousey back in the day, even when Ronda Rousey was talking her trash back in the day, there was always a good lane for it for her, because there was always a good argument for her because she was in that lane. She was in that Shark Tank. Ronda Rousey was beating everybody in the Shark Tank. Nunes is surrounded by the sharks. So is Pena. They're backing it up. But if you aren't really in that lane yet, or even like graduated to that level they're on, you can't really put yourself in that realm of greatness yet until you sign that contract to be fighting those fighters. You know what I mean? Like when you sign over and say, look, I'm jumping in the ocean now with the big fish. I'm graduated from the lake. I'm jumping in with the big fish. that's when we kind of want to hear it. But it's like Juliana Pena said right there, like, you went this way, but why is my name coming up? Right? That's the thing. Yeah, Colostrum, I know she signed. Yeah, I know PFL matched it. But my thing is too, like, find your lane. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do money, just do money. But if Bellator offered you this and PFL matched it, what about the sacrifice of being a great one, right? Like, sacrifice comes with being a great fighter, right? Sacrifice comes with that. So if you want to actually get away from being secure for a second because your ego is on the line and your greatness is uh being derailed, almost, being blocked off because of the opponent selection, you might want to go over to Bellator, even if they did match. Even if they did match, you probably want to say, well, the better competition is over here, right? Even if that, even if for that moment, you would probably want to take that chance because I think that's what you want to do. Like, you want to sacrifice it, to be a great fighter, you have to do that. But if you're comfortable with this type of money, I think Pena's kind of right. You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, me being respectful, yeah, I'm not gonna call them tomato cans, but she, like I said, Pena's on another level. So what they say is what they say, and she is the fighter with the belt here, and she knows what Kayla Harrison is sitting on as far as resume, right? When it comes down to it. So those are her words, not mine. But like I said, I do agree with her to a certain extent with the points that she made, though. Like, if you do want to jump in there with the Sharks, some sacrifices have to be made, and you do have to sign, where the Sharks are before you do that talking, right? So let me go back to the comment section. What do y'all think, though? I mean, I'm just saying, like, off of what was said here and what's being signed, Stick Dog Somerset, I don't think Marina stands a chance against Lemos or Andrade. You know what? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that one, man, because, yeah. I mean, Andrade's a different level of strength, too, so. Zaman said, I hope Pena will ruthlessly trash talk Nunes and humiliate her in the rematch. Says see people dump on Caleb but praise Connor and want him to fight Usman. Where they do that at? Man, Usman would crush him. I don't even want to see that fight. Lafayette said Caleb probably didn't sign because of Cyborg. Dang. He said, for real. But that's the thing, man. They got a division. Like, if you did sign, at least you would get ranked, so you wouldn't have to jump right into a Chris Cyborg fight. TJ said Kayla never intended on signing with Bellator. That was just to boost her PFL payout with the match clause. Business moves, yeah, just business moves. She wants Cyborg to come up to the PFL. Excuse me. Kayla said Kayla needs to fight Cyborg before Cyborg starts getting Social Security checks. Okay. Lavia said, I heard Kayla say that in an interview. Hope Pena beats Nunes again. Big fish in a very little pond. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Colostrum said Dunn Davis said he'll do a cross promotion with Cyborg and Bellator didn't respond. Really? I thought what is his name? Scott Coker. Yeah, Scott Coker said they would do something like that. He said they still had their eye on her and they would do like a cross promotion. He said something about doing a cross promotion with her. He said they were trying to keep everything open. Lafayette said Pacheco was the only good fighter she fought. I don't understand either, man. Like, Pacheco had to pull out. That was weird. Like, I kind of found that weird. Pacheco had to pull out because of a weight issue, right when she was doing good this time. I mean, she was really looking like a threat too. The time she started really looking like a threat, I was like, wow, why did she pull out? I don't know. And it says C. What do y'all think about that? It says C said Pena can't fight. He said Pena's got no skill. Really? You said Pena can't fight. Come on now. You know Pena knows how to fight. Come on. Lolita says, yeah, Cyborg is only 36, but you know, she's kind of waiting. She's waiting. Cyborg hadn't really taken like a lot of damage, so she still has a lot of fight years on her side. I think she could give Kayla another 3-4 years of waiting. But yeah, that's just where I was coming from with that. It's just like, I think that you do have to make that's the part of the way of thinking has to be broken. You have to think of the sacrifice you have to make to be able to back up the talk that you want to present to the people. You want to be presented as a GOAT. I mean, you have to go through that path of taking a tough road to get there. So if it means a pay cut or if it means the pay stays the same, you might go this way, right? You want to go that way. Julia Budd, yeah, Julia Budd's in PFL, so that's a good fight for her. Colostrum said this was Dunn Davis called that out on Twitter. Okay. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things, like the money is secure with PFL, so that's a good thing. I mean, she's done something that a lot of these other fighters couldn't do. She secured bigger paydays. So if anything, that's something to give her props for. Kayla Harrison, the highest paid WMMA fighter today. So at least she did establish something. I mean, she didn't have the best competition, but she has shown how to work her business, good business moves. So yeah, there's always that lane to stay in. But if she wants to answer those calls, call outs from other fighters, I know she called out Cyborg to a gym fight. Said, she gonna give her the address and everything. Stuff like that, it's just gonna be all talk just to kind of build the name up. Let's see. Lafayette said Pena knows how to sell a fight. Yeah, she knows how to sell a fight. She can get under people's skin. She does that crazy stuff sometimes, but there's a little bit of truth in some of the things that she says. He said Kayla never said she was in competition with these people. She was just getting her bag while all the hate because they get paid peanuts in UFC. She never said she was in competition with them. I mean, if she calls out Cyborg to a gym fight, I mean, it kind of sounds like it, or if their names come out, like I beat this fighter with my hand tied behind my back. That sounds like you're trying to compete with him, But she is getting the bag. That's true. Right. It's not that really like Pena and Cyborg and them are hating. It's just like it's like when somebody across the street just keeps on, calling out your name, but they never just come straight over to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if you keep on calling me names from down the street, but when I tell you to come over here in my yard, you won't do that. I mean, that says something, right? So it's not that I'm hating. It's just like, why you keep on yelling my name, but you ain't gonna do nothing, right? Wild Tiger, what's up? Like yeah, a lot of people I enjoy watching actually. Dang, Zama said most overrated bomb. Jim ATT is going out. Pena's world domination. Zama said, did you see that dome on Pena? She can Homer Simpson Nunez any day. Wow. Yeah, so that's what it really is, man. That's what it just kind of boils down to is to me, um, when certain things are said, I think there just has to be a point where you have to back it up. Because she's fine where she's at. Yeah, like Kayla fights over here. and she's entertaining. She is a good athlete. She's a good fighter for her level. But whenever you start saying, "Oh," when people start telling me, she's better than Valentina, or she's better than Cyborg, or she's better than Pena, I have to kind of tell you, or she's better than Amanda Nunes, I have to tell you that no, she's not. But you can't get mad when I say that, because if you know the fight game, there's resumes and there's ground you have to stand on. And yeah, like TJ said earlier, like Ali, you have to gain losses. You can still gain losses and still be considered a great one, right? That's my go-to all the time, is him. So um there has to be sacrifices made. Like, do you think Ali was making the biggest paydays in the beginning? Do you think Floyd Mayweather was? No, right? Floyd Mayweather had a hard time on the come up. He made certain sacrifices to get the better fighters. He took the low end on the Oscar De La Hoya fight, right? See, I don't think Kayla wants to do that. Like, if Kayla would have said, all right, if this means beating Chris and being the best fighter, I'm going to sacrifice and take the lower payday here, and I can do it. Shoot, Devin Haney, I know Lafayette, you probably know what I'm talking about. Devin Haney is doing that right now. Devin Haney's taking the lower end of the money and going to Australia to fight George Kambosos for undisputed. He said, I'm taking the low end. I'm doing everything I have to do to prove I'm the better fighter, even if that means taking the low pay cut. Right? So there's gonna have to be points in the career of a fighter to say you have to sacrifice something to get that big payday. You just can't juggle both and say, "Oh, I want to be comfortable. I want to do this," and not expect that, right? Because what Devin Haney's doing in boxing, of taking on Kambosos, taking the low payday, going to, going over to Australia in his home continent, that proves that he wants to be a better fighter. That proves that the money's not everything in this situation now. His ego's on the line. His reputation's on the line. So I'm saying, if Kayla wanted to do that same thing, like, even for this one moment, we're gonna try to get the Cyborg fight done. Even for this one moment, we're gonna get the Cyborg fight done. I'm gonna come over to Bellator for 2-3 fights, even if it is for low payday for just 1 year or so, right? That's all I'm saying when it comes down to it. And I think that's what Pena was saying. It's just the fact that, okay, well, you call me out, but you're signing over here because you just want the money. Well, if you just want the money, fine, stay over there. That's a good way to just be a prize fighter. But don't bring up the other fighters anymore. Lafayette said, who you like, Tank or Rolly? Tank 100%. Tank 100%. At what weight class? 135. 135. I got Tank all day in that fight. Australia said, are you breaking down Pierre Rodriguez and Hansen this weekend? I don't know much about this new girl. I seen Pierre Rodriguez. I know a little. I know a little bit about her. I watched some of her LFA fights, and she was in the Contender Series. So, yeah, I'll probably go back and do a breakdown for it. Moses said talking ish is one thing and backing it up is another. Pena did both. Exactly. Pena did both, man. Juliana Pena did both. I don't think Juliana Pena is hating on Juliana Pena ain't hating on Chris Cyborg at all. I mean, she stepped into the fire. She's already stepped into the fire. She's been in there with Valentina. She's been in there with Nunes. But when you mention her name, she probably will say something, right? Choice of words are going to be made, and words are going to be made, and fighters ain't going to like what's said, but fans ain't going to like what's said. But I don't think she hating. Pena's got the belt, right? In a good position. Yeah, Kayla Harrison's got the money over all these fighters. She's highest paid fighter right now, but seems to me like legacy is still a big part. Legacy is still a big part that she wants, but still not really sure she want to get in there yet with Chris. And she, like I said, she might have a good chance there at 155. Her and Chris fight at 155. It might be interesting. Might, she. I want to see what she do to Julia Budd first. Genesis, what's going on? When Holly Holm fighting? I think Holly Holm is fighting in. Is it May? I think Holly Holm is fighting in May or something like that. Holly and Kelly Vieira fight. Yeah, May 21st. May 21st. Wild Tiger said Juliana Pena doesn't have no fear when she fights. As she said, she walks through the fire. Exactly. Yeah. She already been in some of the hardest fights. She already been in some of the toughest fights in the game. Let's see. Stick said, "Can we get to the best women fighters of all time? Shevchenko and Rose." Runner Reedy said, "Not Rose, but Valentina is the best." Yeah, but let's talk about let's talk about Rose and Carl a little bit here. Love here said Vieira is tough, but I got Holly. Yeah, I got Holly in that fight. Yeah, I got Holly in that fight though. Let me stretch for a second. Wild Tiger. Genesis. Oh. All right. Okay, so yeah, Rose and Carlos Esparza, man. Like, I haven't been talking about it enough, but it's the fight that I'm really looking forward to. Carla really getting her shot here. Run it back. If she wins this, she'll probably be really dubbed the rematch queen. She's come far. She's come far since the last time. Since that last fight. I broke that fight down the other day. I was like, Carla was doing whatever she wanted in that fight, but Rose just looked so green that time around. She just looked so like she was playing in for the crowd, like she was looking for excitement. She was spin kicking, she was flying knees, she was jumping everywhere, throwing wild punches. She landed one every now and then on Carla, but Carla was being the more patient control fighter, which she should have been at the time, right? Because she was more experienced. But a lot has changed. A lot has changed since then. A lot has changed. I think Rose is much more patient. Her striking is definitely more improved, much more improved than what it was back then. So, what she's accomplished over the past few years definitely makes it more of a 50-50 fight here, right? Hold on, before I get into it, what TP Ma, what's up? He said, not to be off topic here, but will Hamzat walk through Burns, or does Burns give him a lesson? Burns has a chance because Burns has power. Burns has power too, and I think his ability on the ground is better than Hamzat, but we'll see. We'll see, because Hamzat's power ain't no joke. His accuracy ain't no joke either. And I think if Usman did land a lot of good straight shots to his chin, believe me, Hamzat will probably land something. So I'm looking at that factor, but we'll see. I mean, he got the size, the strength here, and the power. I think Burns got more experience and skill here, and I hate to pick power and size over experience. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be good. But I'm gonna come back to that one maybe Friday when we talk. So we'll see. One more time, I'm gonna do my pick on that one. So Rose, man, she's done a lot to get better as a fighter. She's definitely done a lot, and there's still some things in there that have I think have kind of gone under the radar with her as far as how she's improved. I definitely think she's gotten stronger. I have to give her credit for getting stronger. I mean, every young fighter gets stronger. Like if I said she wasn't, I'd be lying. You know, back in the day when she was what 22, 22 back in 2014. Uh, she was still kind of filling out into, still filling out into the fighter that she wanted to be or thought she could be. 8 years later, she's definitely been going through a big change as far as her camp. She's stronger. Um, the stuff she does outside of fighting, outside of the octagon, definitely, contributes to her growing as a fighter. She's being out in the fields, doing that farm work that helps build up strength. So she definitely has got that going for her. Rose definitely has gotten physically stronger. So she won't be the same type of fighter that's going to be easy to ragdoll even for Carla. I mean, it's easy for Andrade because that's Andrade, but I think Carla is going to have her work cut out, thinking it's going to be just easy to out wrestle Rose this time around. But speaking of strength, Rose has improved. I mean, Carla has gotten stronger. Carla hadn't really talked about wanting to move down to atom weight. She wants to stay here at straw weight. So in order to do that, she's been tacking on more, not just muscle, but she's been putting on the strength. She has been going through more of a intense strength and conditioning program to help build up her strength for this division. So that's important, to hang with these girls like Zhang Weili and so on. So with that, man, like as far as Roses come and the slight improvements that Carla's made, and just off of style matchup, I still think it's a 50-50 fight. That's just me. I still think it's a 50-50 fight because it comes down to styles. I think it just comes down to what certain type of fighters get agitated with, certain type of in-close fighters that are just on you like a pit bull. Sometimes that can frustrate you if you can't get off, your long shots. If Rose is used to getting off her long, accurate shots, she might have trouble doing that when somebody's just on the inside trying to mow you down and get you down all night, if that's their main game plan, right? But if you look at some of the styles in the past where Rose has succeeded and made her look good, like Joanna and Zhang Weili, Carla doesn't really do what they do. Carla doesn't really do what they do. So I think Carla needs to be more of a, more of a pressure fighter. Like she's, a couple of good fights where I have to go back and look. I was looking where she was putting the pressure on more, because sometimes she does a smart thing of staying completely out of range, and then she'll zip in. She'll kind of zip in once she kind of makes you offset your feet. So this has to be a situation where Carla, can somehow take away the footwork away from Rose. And that's going to be a hard thing because Rose really she's really built up her kickboxing ability and her boxing ability to the point over the past few years where it's like just almost baffling for some of these fighters in the strawweight division. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really see a lot of fighters with that type of technical footwork besides Alexa Grasso, who's now moved up. Caitlin Craig and those type of fighters really thrive on footwork. And next to Rose at 115, I think the ones that really use footwork, like just tricky footwork, or man, it's really hard to say. Like Marina has her moments, but I think like when it comes to the footwork, like best of the best is Rose. Like, it is better. Of course, it's better than Marina's, better than Joanna's, but not just down to the in and out movement and the speed either. I'm talking about how, she's always trying to place her feet on the outside or in the inside to get off a hard shot, or she knows where to place her feet when she wants to do that tricky takedown and get you to the, you know, get you to the mat to get that last round in. You know what I mean? Like she did the Zhang Wei Li. So there's a lot more elements here that Carla's going to have to break down. You know, BJ, what's going on? He said Arujo has good footwork for one round. Dang. Out of all fighters, he just gonna bust up in here and call out Arujo like that. Dang. That's the way to come in and make your entrance, BJ. Make that. Stick Dog said Rose beat Joanna twice, went 1-1 with Andrade, and Whaley is 0-2. The best of the best. Come on. Oh boy, here we go. I'm not saying she's not good. No, I'm just saying that Valentina is like the best. She's considered the best. And I think Amanda Nunes is considered the best. So I mean, you want to say best of the best, like in the top 3, yeah. But I think pound for pound, it's still Valentina and Nunes, But yeah, I'm not knocking that. Definitely not. That's a good resume. That's a good resume right there. But you still have to respect what Carla does, and you still have to respect the fact that Carla has got a win over her, and this could be a particular style. That could give her trouble. Like Andrade succeeded the first time, almost succeeded the second time. The reason that Joanna and Rose didn't was because, going back to what I just said earlier, is that they present more of a thinking type style where she can actually think herself and kind of take her time, pick her shots. Whereas Andrade, she's high paced, and sometimes that kind of bothers a fighter that, can't get into the groove of their boxing because they're always constantly worried about the overhand right or the slam, So if Carla brings that type of energy, let's be real. That's what she could do. That could pull off what could be considered an upset here, right? It's crazy that this is going to be kind of an upset too, because Carla already has a win, but it's been so long, and Rose has accomplished so much that it would kind of be considered an upset, right? I mean, what do y'all think? If Carla wins, is it an upset? Let's see. Stick Dog said Carla got crushed by 2 of the 3 I mentioned. She got crushed by Joanna. She never fought Whaley or Andrade. She got crushed by 1 of those fighters. I'm not speaking. I'm not. Am I saying that right? She did, right? Carla didn't get crushed by both of them. Like Carla only got beat by Joanna. Carla never fought Zhang Weili or Andrade. Right? I'm not even looking at resume. I was just kind of thinking to myself, I should know that. No, I do know that. I'm just kind of asking. Right? Yeah, right. You name Weili, Joanna, and Andrade. Carla only got crushed by 1 of those fighters. Unless you thinking of Tatiana Suarez. The Joker, what's up? He said Andrade needs to drop back down to 115 to whoop Karen and Becky. Spirit out of Rose. She's back. She's back. She's got to fight. She's got to fight Amanda Lemos first. And like TJ said, yeah, Andrade got robbed. See, a lot of people think that too. A lot of people think that, like, she got robbed in that fight. That's how That's that type of style that presents trouble. Wild Tiger said, "Is Jessica Andrade fighting pretty soon?" Yeah, she is. She's fighting Amanda Lemos next. Let me get you a fight date, but yeah, she's due. Yeah, Lemos Andrade is oh snap, Lemos Andrade is April 23rd. I kept thinking it was May. Hey, that's soon right there for you, Wild Tiger. It's right around the corner. End of this month. Did y'all dang did I, how did I forget that? How did I forget that? It's April 23rd. Wow. Wow, that's right around the corner. Mojo said, I think that strawweight is going to be a hot potato for the next couple of years. You're right. It is. I mean, whether or not Rose wins this time, I think Marina might do it, or Andrade might do it, or if Marina wins, Andrade might beat her. Then the Joanna's going to come back, and Joanna might beat Andrade. Then Zhang Wei Li's going to come back, and she might beat Joanna. So it's going to be like it's going to just come full circle. Like, don't be surprised if this becomes 2014. Don't be surprised if Carla wins. Don't be surprised if Carla wins the belt and we just go all the way back around, right? MMR said, "How did Andrade get robbed when she lost first two rounds? She won the third hand. She won the third hand down, but she lost the fight." Some people think she won round 2 and 3. You know, I mean, I said Rose won the first time, but the second time, but a lot of people think that second round was pretty darn close in that third round. So, right. I mean, we can watch the fight. I mean, no, I ain't pulling the fight up right now. Yeah. So I had asked earlier, was it an upset? Yazaman said it's not for him. Brian Williams said technically it's an upset if Rose is the betting favorite, but not to the diehards. Straya said no, it's not an upset. Carla has some chance, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, where did this come from? Straya trying to stir up somebody. He said Barbara might smoke Montana De La Rosa. If it turns into like a brawl, she very well much could do it. She very well much could smoke her. Like, that's why I said Montana doesn't need to trade with her. I think Montana could outstrike her. Like, technical striker, I think Montana would have the edge there, but like there's no need to go in there and try to like go all out and try to brawl with her. I don't know, man. That was a good it was a good fight regardless. It was a good fight. And that's the thing, like I said, like if the fight is that close and this many people argue about it, that should tell you it's not a robbery. I think we know what a robbery is. No, I think I broke down what a robbery is. Split decisions and actual close fights are not robberies. Like I disagree with Lauren Murphy getting the decision over JoJo Calderwood, right? But the judges saw it a different way, and it was a close fight. I saw where Joanne Wood also kind of gave away moments in the fight, right? I saw that, and then I look at this fight with Rose and Andrade. It's like, okay, if it had went to Andrade that time, I wouldn't have been mad. I really wouldn't have, because there was just so much going on, and it was such a hard fought fight on both sides that if Andrade would have won, I would have said, okay, I can see where they did that because Rose was slipping here. Or when Andrade lost, I said, okay, this is where Andrade was slipping. Like split decisions, like every now and then is corruption. Yeah, it is corruption a lot of the times, Excuse me. Let me say it again. It's a lot of the times, not just some of the times. But if you go back and look at some of these fights that are really close and you really can't make the decision, I mean, yeah, like to me, robbery was Miranda and Macy. Miranda and Macy was a robbery to me. It was obvious that to me, I thought it was obvious that Miranda did enough to win 2 rounds. But what did they do? They gave Macy Barber second round, and of course, she won the third round. You know, but let's be all honest here. Let's be in all let's be honest here. In all honesty, Carla does have to work here. Carla's gonna have to work. She's gonna have to work. She's gonna have to go for 30-27. Like, let's look at that aspect. Carla can't play around here. Carla's got to go in there and fight hard. She's got to fight hard in this fight. She can't leave, any moments that are just questionable here, because the judges will be against her. Yeah. Like, I saw moments in that rematch with Zhang Weili and Rose where I thought Zhang had won. You know what I mean? So you just can't do a little bit of this and then say, okay, I won the fight. Okay, I can make the argument I won. No, you got to be in there working every minute, or making sure your opponent's not working. You know what I mean? Like, when you get the better of the exchanges, you have to stay in that lead. So to me, it is on Carla in this fight to do more than necessary here, because she does have that against her. She does have that against her. Let's be honest, they will be in favor of her. They are going to be in favor of Rose going in here. They ain't going to let certain little things fly, just as they were with Macy Barber. They favored her. They'll do the same. So yeah, all honesty, yeah, Carla's going to have to make sure she's on her game in this fight, because if she does what Andrade did in that second fight, where y'all feel like Andrade won, Carla's going to lose. That's not enough. If you want to get that belt, you got to make it. You got to go in there and make it an easy night for yourself, meaning submission and knockout. Yeah, I saw that straight. It says, he said, I was just baiting for BJ. He ain't biting today. Nah, he ain't bite that. I saw right through that. Zalman said first round, Barber had more significant strikes, landed JoJo's head was snapping back multiple times while tapping Murphy's leg. How did she have more significant strikes? How did Barber have some significant strikes when she was on the back foot and wasn't even landing nothing? Tell me that. Like, how? Miranda's the one landing to the body and landing and backing her up. Like, how? Why is TJ Dillashaw telling his fighter to do something? Or not TJ Dillashaw. What is his name? Why am I forgetting? Why did I call him TJ Dillashaw? You know who I'm talking about. Now I'm blanking. You know who was in Macy Barber's corner that night? He knew she was behind that first round. What is his name? Y'all know his name. Why am I blanking? I know this guy too. Like, of course I know him, but you know how it is. I got too many fighters on my mind right now. So who works Macy Barber's corner right now? And Jan Janon's corner. Why his face is in my head, but I just can't say his name. What is his name? What is this guy's name? Lolita, the fighter. Why am I not? Faber? Yeah, Uriah Faber. There we go. Uriah Faber. Yeah, Uriah Faber was saying to Macy Barber, "You need to do something in the first round." So how is she leading on significant strikes? I mean, come on, man. Stick Summer said, "Okay, I thought Whaley." No, yeah, they never fought. But yeah, Rose has fought the best fighters. I'm just saying, like, Esparza, He said Esparza has not. She gets Rose again. Well, she's fought some good fighters though. I mean, she hasn't fought those elite fighters in a row because of course, she had fell, right? She ain't fall, but she had just went another path and never got a title shot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right, Faber. That's who I was talking about. Mm-mm. But anyways, I ain't gonna go off on that fight too much. The Barber fight, but yeah, Carla has a good chance going into this one, though, man. I still think that it's going to come down to styles, and her wrestling is still, it's still going to be present, and it's still going to be a big factor here. Of course, Rose's striking has definitely cleaned up since that first fight. I think it's going to be a good fight all around. Yep, yep. Stray said, "Who y'all got? Rocky versus Lad? I got Rocky Pennington. I got Rocky Pennington in this fight. Got to go with Rocky Pennington here. Can't make the mistake of picking against some of these veterans that have just been on their game lately. You know what I mean? I'm going with Rocky Pennington. What else? Valentina and Valentina and Taylor Santos. Oh, let's see. Stretch again. Probability of Rose finishing Carla is extremely low. What makes it low for you? What makes it low, Zaman? I need to know. Style? Because I look at the fighters that she finished, and they all gave her space to be finished, to finish them. Like Joanna had the space, good mid range where she could land that left hook. Zhang Wei Li was a big finish because of that game she wanted to play. She wanted to play, chess, and then boom, head kick, right? But I don't see Carla. Carla's a smart wrestler. Like Carla's completely out of range or she's inside. Carla's not going to play striking with her. She's not going to try to box with her. That's why I don't really see Carla getting finished like that. And it's hard to see her get dominated too, because if she can take away the range, Rose ain't gonna really like go in there and finish her on the inside. Like Rose doesn't have that type of power, like on the inside. That's gonna be Carla's game, is to take this thing down to the ground and just work. Because Carla, it's either gonna be by her choice. If she stays all the way outside, that's where she's safe, like completely out of her range until she can find her moment to dart in or find a way in. When she offsets Rose's feet, that's whenever she's going to take her chance to go on the inside, right? That Joker said that she needs to go, huh? Aspen Ladd, yeah, needs to go back to Invicta. I mean, yeah, yeah. Said Brian Williams said Carla's very durable too. Yeah, Carla's durable. She's a durable fighter. Like Carla went 3 rounds with Tatiana Suarez. You know what I mean? Carla went 3 rounds with her, and I mean that was hell on the girl. You know what I mean? Like not many people can do that with Tatiana, and you gotta think how small she is too. She can take a beating. So to get what she needs, she'll go in there and work. He just said he think Carla will struggle to get Rose down. I don't know if she'll struggle. I think the struggle might come into play when she keeping her down. I think keeping her down is going to be the problem, but not like taking her down. She could probably she could still get her down. Carla can still get takedowns. So yeah, Brian Williams said took a lot of punishment, not finish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, TJ. Yeah, she's durable because yeah, Joanna whooped her, but did she knock her out? Did she like just totally bash her and like did she fall? I thought the referee stepped in. Yeah, I just think that you might see her take like a not as far as the striking, but like the approach like Marina Moreau does when she uses her wrestling, be more on the outside and then, get on the inside where she can take away Rose's like counter punching abilities and her power. That's where it's going to really come down. That's where the work is really going to come down to it. Like for Carla, see, Rose is going to have to keep it a chess match and pick shots. Like if she can make Carla box with her, then yeah, that's that point when she could finish her. But Carla never really does like Joanna and them anyway because she doesn't have the hands for that. Mark said Rose has to be in Carla's face or Carla will chain wrestle Rose into an upset. He said Rose has to be in Carla's face. Uh I don't know if she has to be in her face. I think she needs to be more in the mid range because if Carla's in her face, it's going to favor Carla more. She just said Rose been training her takedown defense. Yes, she's been training it, but I mean, Carla's been doing this for a long time. Carla's been wrestling for a long time, and she knows how to take fighters down. So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, her takedown defense is good, but I'm just saying that Carla's main thing is to get a fight down to the ground, and that's what she's going to be going for. Yeah. Mark Robinson said, I feel like Rose might spend most of the time running from Carla and choosing not to really engage. Every strike that Rose lands is a potential takedown risk when fighting Carla. Stick Dog said Wei Lee would have taken away range, but she couldn't. Esparza is done. Well, again, Wei Lee couldn't take away the range because she chose to strike. You know what I mean? She chose to strike at that range, that mid range, where that's not really on Esparza's mind. Same with like Andrade. Like Andrade, she took away Rose's range. Why? Because she was like, I'm not going to stand on the outside here and play chess with you. Right? That's what I'm just looking. It's coming down to styles here. It's just coming down to styles, where I have to kind of think about who does what and why they failed. Who did what and why they failed off of it. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I had jumped back on the call and Rose. Yeah, we were talking about I was gonna jump to Taylor and Valentina and Taylor real quick. Let's talk Valentina and Taylor here again real quick. Um, what do y'all think? Taylor Santos' chances against Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, some people ask me Valentina, well, they ask me about Taylor. They say, oh, Robot Chickens, what's going on? What what type of chances does Taylor Santos have over against Valentina Shevchenko? Well, to be honest, I have to tell him I think she does have a chance. I think she is a step up above the rest of the fighters that she's fought. I think she is a better. I think she has some better tools. I think she has much better approach that could maybe give some problems than some of the other fighters that Valentina's faced. But um, I'm really kind of basing that off of just the rest of the division. And when I do that, man, it's like y'all know my saying here. Like there's the flyweight division, and then there's Valentina. Like it's her division, but it's not really like she's not even in the division. It's like she's in her own world here. It's just like every now and then she comes down from that world and tries to find a worthy opponent. And each time, they fail. Then she goes right back up to where she is and says, call me when you're ready. Right. So Taylor's, doing it, doing the thing. She's beating a lot of these fighters that they put in front of her. But in my opinion, I think she's been looking better than the majority of these fighters. But how does that stand against Valentina? Oh man, I don't know, man. I can't say it's like 60-40. Like I think BJ said that yesterday when I had him on. He said 60-40. I mean, that's pretty tight. That's pretty tight, man. It's really tough for me to say 70-30 on this one. See, I said 70-30 for Nunes and Pena because Pena did have a good chance. And I think 30 is fair for where Pena was at the time. Pena just lost the GDR and then she bounced back with the win over Sarah McMahon. And, she does have a lot of experience and she knows Nunes. So I had to factor that in. And all of that just added up to a 30% for me because you're still looking at a dominant champion. So I think that was fair. But for Santos, for me to give her 30, that's really hard because that's saying that even then, like, she's had this long dominant factor where she's finished a lot of girls in the UFC flyweight division and that she's built up enough of a resume to be seen as a killer as well, or that she's got the right style to offset Valentina, which she might have a few tools here and there, but she hasn't really gone in there and like finished a lot of these fighters where I think Shevchenko would give her respect like that. Valentina gave Nunes a lot of respect, according to her, because of the size, but it's a mixture of three things. It was the size, the skill, and the power, right? And when it all comes down to it, I don't know if Taylor Santos built that type of resume to get that type of respect. I think she has a little bit of power, yes, but Valentina's faced some bigger, stronger fighters before, so she has partly the size, but again, Valentina's faced bigger fighters at 135. So she has a little bit of what these fighters at 135 had, but the thing is, Valentina's unseen it and been through it all. That's why it's tough for me to do 60-40 or even 70-30. And I'm not doing 50-50 on this one. I just can't because I'm going off what I see here. Now, when it all comes down to it, Santos might not have the same skill set, the same skill level of Valentina, but she might have the right amount of tools or the right this, the right that could actually pull off an upset, right? Like every fighter has a chance to pull off an upset, even if it is just with one little move or one little fluke. I think somebody brought that up yesterday. A good example, just saying like Chris Weidman, he's not as skilled and is not as good as Anderson Silva, but look what he did, right? All it takes is maybe, showing up, executing a good game plan, and catching that fighter at the right time, right? So she definitely has that chance. So yeah, I would factor that as part of one of the 10% I would put in, and then that other 10% would be, how she's looked against this level of competition and her looking better than most of the other flyweights and actually having more to offer. Like, Caitlin Chikaga is not really like a big, strong fighter. She's big, she's long, but she's not really offering the same type of the ability to outmuscle like Taylor Santos. Lauren Murphy, she was a bit mechanical in there, and I think mentally she was gone after like the first two rounds. Jennifer Meyer was probably like the only one that showed like durability and strength, but I think Taylor has some power in here and some good stand-up. that could be good at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, it might not come down to her playing chess. Yes, she can't do that, but she has technique and skill set that could make sure that if she throws the right hand at the right time, the right body shot, the perfect head kick, or get the perfect takedown, that could earn her a submission. Like, if she has the right moves, that's what it has to be, right? Gordon Morris, what's going on? He said, has Pena versus Nunes 2 been booked? Not yet. They just finished filming the Tough House, so they're not locked in on a date yet. They're not locked in on a date yet, but yeah, they just finished the Tough House, but I think it's supposed to be, I think, July or August or something like that. Stray said, would it be good for the division if Valentina loses? I think so, but can't see it happen. Just hoping. I can't really say it's a good thing if Valentina loses, like, because it's going to be the same thing like the strawweight division. The belt's just going to jump around. The belt's going to just jump around, which this is a video I might have to talk about because people ask me this. You're not the only one, Australia, but people ask me like, do you want to see Valentina lose? Like, will it be good? Not really, because what was that going to say about the other fighters? I mean, the belt's going to change hands, and it's just going to say that the fighters are still as good as they are, but now they don't really have a measuring stick. Now they don't really have the motivation to say, this is how good I need to be, unless Valentina is there to kind of keep it in line. I mean, it's not really working now. I mean, because, Valentina is that good and nobody has ever come close to matching her skill set. But it's almost like I said, she's here anyways, and everybody else is going to fight anyway. It's going to be competitive to a certain extent between them all the time. So I can't really say it's a good or bad thing. Like, I mean, I can't say it's a good thing if she loses, if that's the question. I mean, if she can hold on to her reign, fine, because again, that just proves how good she is and what other fighters need to do. I always like a division with the dominant champion, in my opinion. I never really like a division when the belt just keeps changing around, because that means somebody's not really doing what they need to do. They just train for one type of fighter and that's it. Sadly, sadly for y'all fans that want to see Valentina lose, she's trained for every style. She's prepared for everything. So that's what all fighters really need to do, right? Yeah, Robot Chicken said it's actually good for the division. Yeah, I think it's good for the division. I mean, because it's not really her fault. It's not her fault. I mean, these fighters are going to do what they're going to do regardless of what she does. So, I mean, they should be stepping their game up anyway. MMA Art said Valentina is what people thought Rousey, Nunes, and Cyborg will be. Valentina is the real GOAT and retired on top of her division. I won't say she's like the GOAT. It's hard to say she's the GOAT over Nunes and Cyborg, because I'm still looking at the names that they faced in those hard fights they fought and how long they've been around too. Like, Chris been around for a minute. Chris been around for over a decade. You know what I mean? So I can't say like she would be the real GOAT even over Nunes. Like, yeah, over Ronda, of course, but like, Nunes still holds him 2 wins, whether you like it or not, over her. That's why I asked that question the other day. What do people think about resume and skills? Like, I think Nunes still has a good mixture of both there, like resume and skills. Of course, Valentina has more skills than Nunes, but who's got more resume? I think that would be Nunes. Nunes has that good balance of both there. You know what I mean? Mojo said, I still think Val gets upwards of 10 title defenses. She's just that good. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely on the horizon, man. Um, if she can get by Taylor, then yeah, it's definitely possible. Because Taylor's that one that I think is gonna be, like I said, probably the most qualified one for the job in a while, the most formidable. You know, Taylor doesn't really have a lot of experience when it comes down to the 5-round fights. You know, she has a lot of finishes in her career. You know, she's finished a lot of fighters, you know, on lower levels. So um that's good for confidence, but it's not really good for experience either. You know, if they were just like low level fighters, you know, Valentina's already been doing this 5-round fight for a long time with some of the best. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of pressure she can put on. You know, we'll see what type of pressure she can put on Taylor Santos, that is. And yeah, we'll see if she can crack that code, man, because Valentina is that good in this division. Just that good. Brian said the only question on Nunes' GOAT status is her lost opinion. If she wins the rematch, no more question. Right. Right. Yeah, like everybody's been questioning it now because of that. Like, what did I say? Like I can understand a while back I did a video talking about the pound for pound list that they make. And like I said, I can understand how Valentina is number one because of the stock. It's like stock. Like pound for pound and GOAT are two different things, right? You know, pound for pound is now, it's current. You know, all time is GOAT status. You know, that's what it is, right? And that's all in how you look at it too. That's your opinion as well. So when the UFC put Valentina as number one, it's just kind of like the stock. You know, when somebody loses this hard, it falls. But even then, you can still say Nunes is still pound for pound the one in some cases. But they made her, you know, they actually dropped her lower than Rose at that time. And I was like, oh no. I mean, like, you know, Valentina's still done a lot here. I mean, excuse me, Nunes still done a lot here. So that one loss, you know, it kind of made everybody start questioning. But you know, if Nunes loses this time, it's really gonna put a damper on that. So, you know, Nunes has to win this time. Yeah, I just kind of think it's like a stock market thing, you know. It's like where you like a stock thing, boom, boom. This person loses, they drop for a while, then they can gain it back if they win, you know. But you know, considered to be like a legend. I think you can definitely suffer a loss or two, but it's all in how you bounce back. You know, somebody loses, it's like okay, it's not over. They still consider one of the best fighters of all time. It's just another chapter in your book and how you come back. Gordon said, "What if Val uncharacteristically tries to knock out Taylor because of Taylor's KO record?" I don't think she would do that, Gordon. I mean, but if she did, that's something I was going to talk about. I was going to bring up in it earlier. Like, I think the only way like Val really loses hard like that is if she just completely does something out of left field. That's just out of her. That's just completely out of her realm, Gordon. Like that, yeah, it comes to a point that I wanted to cover as well. Like when she goes in there, if she goes in there and just like totally does something different, where she, you know, you never really seen her do before, I think that would cost her fight. And the only way she can really lose this fight is, I think, if something is not right outside of the camp. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it is now. I think it's just to the point where it would have to be something outside of camp that she just changed on the fly, or she stopped doing it, and it would just have to be something that drastic of a change, I think, that would cost her a fight at this point. But yeah. But let's see what else. We talked about Ladd and Rocky again. Like I said, I'm going Rocky Pennington. I'm going with Tisha Torres. I think early pick Straya on the Rodriguez and Hansen fight. I'm gonna have to lean towards Pierre Rodriguez here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean a little bit towards Pierre Rodriguez. She's a tough one. But anything can happen in that fight. I'm just leaning towards it, but I'm not really like going all out saying it's this, like she's gonna dominate. She's kind of a brawler, but her ground game is good. Rodriguez, that is. But Kay Hansen's a pretty good fighter on the ground. Striking is not the best, but let's see. Mark Robinson said, I think Taylor can outmuscle Val. Val's usual body lock takedowns might not work against Santos. Santos might even reverse and get the takedown herself. Yeah. Yeah, I think, her muscle comes into play that way. She's a very strong fighter. So yeah, that could be it too, man. I really wanted to see somebody match her in that department. And that's what I was saying the other day, Mark, about body frame going into this fight. Like, Andrade could be strong as hell. Like, she could be freakishly strong all day long. But if you don't really have the limbs to handle it, if you don't have the frame to kind of, be able to distribute that strength in the right way, you won't really be able to get those takedowns or enforce that type of strength on Valentina, right? So Taylor could have that chance to outmuscle her if she is as strong, right? Which I think she is. I think she can match or at least meet, I would say halfway, but maybe be like a couple of notches above Andrade. Stick Dog said Nunes has her summit in July. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like June, July, because their show premieres. You got to think it's probably going to go around the Tough House because the Tough House premieres in May, and that's going to be from May to June. So, the finalists on the Tough show is going to be on this UFC 277 card. So, more than likely, it's going to be July because they just finished. They just finished filming the show, right? So they just finished filming the show. Premieres in May. It'll be done by June. UFC 277 in July, huh? Right? Okay, so they will probably put their fight, of course, and the winners of the Tough House on this card in like July. So yeah, that's probably the right turnaround time. Robot Chicken said Claudia is really one of the best female fighters to never win a belt. Prime Claudia, you make an argument. She beat Joanna. Don't get TJ started. He's gonna love that. He said Claudia got robbed more than any fighter in MMA history. Yeah, right. I know that fight. I know she was given a gift against Carla and Angela Hill. I know Angela Hill beat her. Shoot. She got robbed and robbed people. Well, judges robbed her. Shoot, Claudia lost that Carla fight, I think. Was it that fight? It was definitely Angela Hill. Angela Hill and Carla beat Claudia, but they gave it to Claudia Gadelia. Let me see. I know Jessica Andrade, man, that fight. Whew. Jessica Andrade, boy. Jessica Andrade. She took something out of her in that fight. I don't know what cardio. I don't know what you talking about cardio. I don't know what Claudia was doing in that rematch. She did well for like what one round or two, and then like part of the second round from 2, 3, 4, and 5, Joanna was just having an easy win. You know what I mean? Gordon said it would be risky, but the element of surprise would make it work as Santos won't expect that kind of attack. Yeah. Yeah, he talking about the first fight, Mark, because that's the closest fight I think Joanna's ever had next to Zhang Wei Li. He said Andrade Claudia went into the fight with a broken neck like Andrade. Well, that's what happens. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, he'll definitely beat Claudia, in my opinion. Now she dropped her in that fight too. See, he talking about Andrade fight. What about that fight, TJ? What about the time Angela Hill got robbed over Claudia? Talk to me on that. Angela Hill was putting hands on that girl. That was the best Angela Hill ever looked, too. Shout out to Angela Hill in that one, man, because the night that she looked at her best and dropped the fighter, they didn't give her the win. I might have to do a video on that fight, man, because now that you bring it up, that makes me mad, man. That makes me mad because that was one of the times she's really looked good in there. Like, I mean, when it comes down to how she executed her punches, and they give the win to Claudia. No, that dub was for Angela Hill, and you know it. Gordon says Val knows that Santos expects to face a counterpuncher. You think so? Uh, she knows that Santos expects to face a counterpuncher. I'm thinking for Santos, I think she might try to up her work rate in this fight here. You know what I mean? Because if Valentina chooses to come at her like that and she ups her work rate, Santos, she'll have a better chance. Like, let's say if Val was to open up more, that would be dangerous. This is probably the most dangerous fight, I think, for Valentina to like open up. You know how she opened up on Jennifer Maya in the last fourth round and fifth round? If she tries that on Taylor, I think that would be dangerous here. Because, Taylor carries the power factor and, the reach factor, and her Muay Thai, is still better. Of course, it's better than her kickboxing is better than what is her name? Murphy. Yeah, Lauren Murphy. So I think that this is that type of fight where Shevchenko has to be a little bit wiser here and pick her shots. Because if she comes for a more offensive style, that might play into the favor of Santos to me. TJ said I'm a denier, huh? Yeah, stick dogs. Yeah, it should be in July. Yeah, that's gonna be a hot summer, y'all. I can't wait for that one. The Joker said UFC judges need to do some self reflection and soul searching. Yeah, man. I did some videos talking about judges, man, because my thing is like they don't understand like when they make these bad decisions, or if they let's say they take the job. Let's say they take the job of being a judge and they don't even know what a significant strike is or an effective punch or what a takedown, effective takedown is, any of this. Like when they take that job and they don't know any of that, they're putting these fighters' careers in their hands, which is a dangerous thing, especially if you don't know what to look at or what you're calling. These fighters out here. or depending on you to make the right call for when you do everything the right way and everything that you train to do, and you made sure that, hey, I covered this basis. This is going to work. I made it work. I thought I outworked this person, outlanded them. I got the effective takedowns. You know, they think they do all of that only to have it taken away from them. And that's why we call it robbery sometimes, because these judges are taking these fighters' checks out of their pockets. They're taking opportunities away from them. Like I said, that career is in their hands at that point. Career is in their hands at that point, and it's on them to be competent about it. So what do you think Joker, about having ex-fighters and trainers, all kinds of fighters, you know what I mean? Like it could be grapplers, former wrestlers as judges. Brian Williams says Santos will be expecting the best fighter in the world. She's training for Valentina. Says December she'll be prepared as she could possibly be. If she's smart, she won't be expecting any one thing. Right. Because I feel bad for Angela Hill. The UFC needs to give her a title shot, even if she's not a top 5 fighter. She probably would have gotten the title shot a minute ago if they didn't rob her so many times, right? Some of them early wins that she got back in the day. But it's like I said, Angela Hill probably she's got to get to the point where she got to start knocking people out or submitting. That's the only way she gonna get it. Joker says the best idea to put these ex-WMMA athletes as judges. Yeah, ex-fighters, put some ex-fighters in there as judges, referees, trainers. Yeah, Robot Chicken. If somebody's in the bag, it's kind of hard to deny that, though. Like if somebody's, making bets and they got money on a fighter, sometimes I think referees do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes they be doing that. So I think it's a line that oh, sorry, I was reading something. It's it's a tough line to really call on either side here. Robot Chicken said, "Nah, Hill just lost badly to Torres. The Lamos fight performance didn't jump contender material. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I mean, with the exception of those fights, I mean, she's lost some fights back in the day that could have gone her way definitely. But yeah, that's not one of the robberies. Let me put that out there. I still think Lamos won that Angela Hill fight though. That wasn't one of them. And Tisha's always been up over her. Man, Aspen Ladd though. Aspen Ladd. Will she go in there and pull it off? Can she put the blanket? Who's that? Marcus Bell said that, right? She put that blanket of doom on her. Can she do that? Oh yeah. Last topic here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I just saw this interview posted here. Miranda Maverick called out Molly McCann for a June showdown for 2 months. She said it's a really good matchup for both fighters. All right, so we jump in topic here. Oh, TJ said, "Gotta run, be easy, and rewatch Claudia Andrade's fight." That was a bloody mess, man. All right. Gordon said Val might go for the KO on the ground after the unexpected blitz. But from Taylor, hmm. Joker said, I also think that the UFC boss got something to do with a lot of these with all these robberies. The outcome from Adesanya Whitaker fight was very strange. I gotta watch that fight again. 'Cause I know a lot of people said that they thought Whitaker did win 3 rounds in that one, and it was a tougher fight for Izzy this time. I'm gonna go back and look at it again. Genesis said lies. TJ lies. She said Andrade whooped that behind. If anything, that was the worst beating Claudia's ever faced. I think Genesis agrees with that. I think that was the worst beating. He knows that. He just trying to bait me here, Genesis. But that was one of the worst beatings Claudia's ever faced. And I think that's what really took a lot out of her fight in the game. Not the Joanna fights, the Andrade fight. That was a beast fight right there. I mean, Claudia could have won that fight. Claudia could have won that fight, but she gave it to Andrade. She wanted to fight Andrade style. But yeah, let me go back here. Let me pull this up. Yeah, so Miranda Maverick, she wants to fight Molly McCann in a June fight. This was a recent interview just today, right? And MMA Junkie just posted it up. So let's see. Let's pull that part up here. Okay, yeah. Talking about Molly McCann coming off her weekend, her fight the other weekend, March 19th. Dang, has it been that long? Okay, she said, especially after a big win, I called her out prior. I literally messaged her and asked her if she wanted to throw down, and she was all for it. And then she got hurt a while back. So she called her out before. Now she had this fight booked, and I had mine booked. I messaged her again, but I really want the Molly McCann fight. She's coming off all this hype. I think our fight would be a good one to watch for fans. We both have similar styles, both short, stocky, and can get into a firefight if we want to. We'll have good brawls as well. I think that's a really good matchup for both of us. If she's listening, let's get in there. Let's do this. I love to have it around June. Early July would be okay. I'm going back in full training, ready to go by mid-May. Okay. All right. So that was just today. She called out Molly McCann. She said she called her out before, and Molly McCann got hurt. So she called her out again, and let me stretch. There we go. So she called her out again after their wins, and Molly McCann said, "Hey, hey, that's a good fight." And I agree. My thought, I agree on that, but I don't think they have similar styles. Like I'm just kind of going down I'm looking at the words, right? The wording here, this text is missing some words. Hold on. I was just adding in, and as I was reading it. So let me read it again. All right, she's coming off all this hype. I think our fight would be a good one to watch for fans. It would be a good one to watch for fans. Okay, it would be a good fight for the fans to watch. Let me just say it that way. I rephrased it. We both have similar styles. We both are short, stocky, and we can get into a firefight if we want to. We'll have good brawls as well. I don't think they have similar styles. I disagree on that. I mean, if she means like energy as far as like wanting to fight, get down and dirty, yeah. But short and stocky, yeah, they both are. But I think Molly McCann is more of a boxing based fighter, and I think she's a better boxer. I like her hand game, very, very, very good, very tricky how she can move at times. That's her main thing is boxing. She's a boxer. She rolls with Katie Taylor a little bit, I think they work together every now and then. But anyway, I think Miranda, she's more of the grappler here. She's more the grappler. She is a kickboxer. To me, I think Molly's a little bit more one-dimensional. I think Miranda has more tools in her belt. So I think Miranda is more of a well-rounded fighter. I think she has more tools. I think Molly depends more on her hands. She's more of a brawler type. You know, uh, that is. I think that's just a fact. That's how they get their wins. I mean, you can look at how they get their wins. I mean, Miranda's more of a submission artist. Molly's getting hers with decisions. Outpointing fighters, outworking them, knocking them out. So, yeah, two different fighters. I think one's more well-rounded, the other's not. One's more considered more exciting, and the other one's not. Because Miranda's more technical. She does have exciting element to her, but I think Molly brings that crowd. She brings that crowd because of that energy and how she's always making noise up in the octagon as well, right? So, yeah, I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're similar at all. I think they just have a roughness about them, and I think putting these two styles together, it would be a good fight. It would be a good fight, and I think it's necessary because, yeah, yeah, like I said, some people think, yeah, Maverick's boring. Molly McCann is more exciting, when it comes down to the styles. But for me, I like both. I like watching Maverick style. I think it's technical. I think it's very good. Not boring to me, but like I said, to the average fan, if they don't like grappling, that's what it is. Wrestling, they don't really care for it. But you know, Molly McCann's more of that energetic fighter in there. Bringing that energy. And that's her element. But she's also one dimensional. You know, um, I think it's a good fight for both of them, though. Like for bringing in fans, and it's a good, exciting, crowd pleasing fight because when you match these two up, though, I know Joker, you said one's more exciting, one's boring, but when you match striker versus grappler up, it usually makes for a good fight, especially if Maverick, she wants to strike with her because she does have striking as well, but her main thing is grappling. She's a good wrestler too, so it'll make for a good style matchup in that. I definitely favor Miranda more so because I think she has been getting through some tough fights. She has been being dealt out some tough fighters here since coming into the UFC. Jojo was an easier fight, but the rest of them, were pretty hard, pretty tough fights. It's what she needs though before they try to jump right back in there and get a top 15. And that's what I was gonna say last time. I think Maverick needs more of a fight where she can take on one more unranked fighter again before they try to give her like a top 15, anything like that, because top 15 is hard right now. It's deadly. I mean, number 15 is who she lost to, Aaron Blanchfield. Casey O'Neill's 13, Macy Barber's 14. It's a fighter who she lost to. And from there, everybody's taking and everybody's fighting up from here. So that's a good fight for both of them. Because, Molly, I don't see her getting the top 10 or anything like that or top 15 yet, because she looked good in Louisiana Carolina, but that's Louisiana Carolina. You know what I mean? So that's not really enough to go in and say, oh, she brings a big crowd. She deserves a top 10 fighter. No, don't work that way. She's exciting on the level she's on. Molly McCann, that is, but, that doesn't mean you get the better fighters. You're just exciting. Exactly. She's an exciting fighter, but not championship material. Right. MMA art. Yeah, that's my point. It's like some people mix that up. Like Patty Pimlet, he can do what he do all day. That's fine, But when people start trying to put him into the realms of the sharks, we got a problem. Right? We got a problem with that. I do. Like you can love him all day. You can love the energy he brings. You can love his hair. You can love the performances he put on. But when you start, talking about the big dogs, I'm like, oh no, he's not ready for that strap yet. Same can go with Molly McCann. I like her. Like, I'm a boxing fan, so I like her boxing all day. So yeah, but early look, I think it's a good fight. I don't want to see Miranda go in there and try to put on an exciting fight. I want to see her go in there and use what she has that is better than her opponent, which would be her grappling. I want to see her go straight to the ground. Like I don't want to see her put on like a crowd pleasing fight where she's trying to trade with Molly because that's Molly's game. Molly's got the boxing. Molly's got the hands. Those are them kicks every now and then too. You try to fight that game and you try to fight that fight with Molly and boom, you lose. She's high energy too. So looking for the boring fight, looking for the wrestling fight from Miranda if you want to continue moving up the ladder, you know. So with her having more tools, I think it's her. It's just on her to use all those tools to win the fight. Because if she tries to go in there for a banger, you got to favor Molly McCann on the feet. She's very committed to her right hand, committed to her punches. I mean, elbows is nice. Footwork is nice. She's in and out. Hand speed is there. Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Stick Summer says, "Does meatball come with marinara sauce?" I don't see her going nowhere. I think she's in a good place where she is. Like I was saying earlier, I said this in a live stream before. She's a very entertaining fighter, and there's always a realm for entertainment if you can do your thing. You know what I mean? Like you just be entertaining. James G, what's going on? MMA Art said, "I think Maverick will beat Molly McCann." Robot Chicken said Maverick will get finished if she trades punches with Meatball. Yeah, it's not a wise thing to trade with that boxer like that. Mark said Maverick says that, but I think Maverick says that, but I think Maverick would be looking for the takedown as soon as Molly starts to brawl. I think Maverick is tweaking on this. Yeah, yeah, I don't think it'd be wise. Like, I think it's fine to just take the fight and do what you do, but don't be looking to make it some type of exciting war or anything like that. I mean, she's capitalizing off the fact that she just won, Molly just won. Molly brings a big crowd. That's smart. That's how you build up your brand here in the world of WMMA, right? And that's what we're always talking about, right? Fighters don't get enough credit. Fighters don't get mentioned. So you got to put your name on the map, right? So if Molly McCann has the audience, it would be smart for Maverick to call out this fighter over here that has a big audience. Especially if they go over to England or whatever, right? Might get booed, but you earn some fans if you can beat their hometown favorite. Oh, Robot Chicken said, no, she's not ranked. Molly McCann's not ranked. Stray said Maverick just ducking all the better fighters. She could have called out Eubanks, but didn't. I don't think she's ducking all the better fighters. Like I said, she's been fighting a lot of the better fighters. She's been fighting some of the toughest fighters there. Called out Macy Barber to a rematch. I don't think it's like she's ducking all the better fighters. I mean, who are some of the better fighters besides you say Sarge? I mean, is Sarge going to make weight? That's the question. You bring out Sarge like she's one of the best, but she missed weight in her last fight and she got stopped with a body shot. So Sarge kind of lost a lot going into that fight. I mean, if you say Gatto, that's different. Like that's a good fight to make. Gatto, Aldridge, yeah, there's some better fighters out there, but I mean, these two just come off really impressive wins. So this is a time to just kind of capitalize off of a business move as well. I don't think it has anything to do with ducking. As Sarge, that's not really like that's not the best name anymore. That's why you see why I was taking a while to put Sarge in a quadruple threat or triple threat because of how she missed weight second time at flyweight. But yeah, I thought that was a good fight though. Like I'm not knocking that, but I'm disagreeing that she's ducking the better fighters, like you're saying, but Sarge is a good fight, though. I did say that, about a month or two ago, right? Remember I said Maverick versus Sarge is a good fight. So yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, definitely. Robot Chicken says Straya thinks it looks better calling out somebody coming off a win, never the loser unless they lost too. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Like it looks better calling out somebody that's coming off a big win, and especially if you can get a fan base off of that. Uh MMA Art said, who you got? Chikagan or Ebos? I got Chikagan. Yeah, Gato Maverick is a good fight, though. Don't get me wrong. That's a good fight. Gato Maverick is a good fight. But yeah, Chikagan, Ebos, Chikagan all day long. I'm good with Chikagan. Got to be Chikagan. I mean, that's her division. At 125 and just style wise and experience, range, length, cardio, stand up game. Only thing I could really give Ebos a chance in this fight is if it was on the ground, or if she somehow was able to work her jab in there. But her jab is very basic. Like it's good against Mackenzie Dern, but this is Chikagan we're talking about. You know what I mean? If Maya really couldn't box with Ebos, I don't think Ebos will. Ebos gonna have to be grappling in this fight. I want to see how big Ebos can be at 125. That's why I don't like this fight. Look, the fight's okay to some of y'all I know, but I really don't care for it because I know Chikagan's going 30-27 Ebos. Well, I don't know that for a fact. Let me scratch that. I don't know that for a fact. I've just got her winning and looking decisively winning, doing it decisively. Oh man, I don't know, man. I'll take it until then, but after that goes down, I want Chikagan and Manon. What do you want about? What do you think about that MMA art? What about that stick summer dogs? Chikagan and Manon. Y'all know Chikagan and Manon is a good fight. Robot Chicken said he got Gatto third round TKO. Dang. Oh, I don't know. Straight said, I hope Ebos pulls out Firo steps in versus Chikagan. Yeah, I need that fight, man. I need Chikagan versus Manon. Email says she looked great against Paige Van Zant, though. Yeah. Right. Who doesn't, though, right? I think Paige Van Zant is headlining another bare knuckle boxing card, too. That's crazy, right? She's 0-2 and she's about to headline another bare knuckle boxing card. I mean, she's doing something right, though. Business wise, not technically wise, not fight wise, but Paige is doing something right when it comes to being a headliner after losing 2 in a row. You headlining another pay-per-view card? Dang. Ebos is a decent counter striker and she's pretty tall. Won't be easy for Chikagan. Oh. How tall is Ebos? I'm trying to think. Let me pull it up. I won't call her tall. Like, Ebos has got long arms, but she's only like 5'4". She's like your average height. She's like your average height flyweight. And Chikagan is, 5'9", right? So I don't think that's really going to be a problem. I think her jiu-jitsu is the only thing that's really going to be a problem. That and her inside game, if she tries to throw Chikagan, like if she puts on some nice muscle and weight, her grappling might be a problem. But I don't think counter strike is not really going to be a problem. Counter striking for Chikagan is not gonna be a problem for Ebos because I think Chikagan is just all around better timing, better boxer, and I don't think the height is going to be the issue either. Like I said, Chikagan's 5'9", right, and she's like Ebos is 5'4". JoJo is 5'6", 5'7", right? So Chikagan's faced bigger fighters. Chikagan's faced taller fighters than Ebos and better strikers. I think it's really just going to come down to the grappling here. So I think Ebos has a black belt in both judo and BJJ. So don't be surprised if she could pull out a submission. But no, like I don't think her striking is going to give Caitlin Chikagan any type of fits or her like height or length. That's not going to be the problem here. Because Marina was taller than her too. Like Ebos ain't really like anything when it comes to like that stands out when it comes to height to me. I'm not that high on Cortez. Gatto goes for the kill. That's what Robot Chicken said. Brian said, Paige Van Zant just signed to, she's been signed to AEW Wrestling, right? I think, Kayla Harris has come through there a few times as well. But she's supposed to be headlining another pay-per-view card though for bare knuckle boxing. So I think Paige won't stick with bare knuckle for long. Yeah, if she loses again, I think they're gonna cut her. Stick Dog said, "Listen, I love WMMA. Chikagan is looking really good. Don't underestimate her." No. I never do. I mean, if you think Ebos will give her like what Zaman said, if you think Ebos giving her problems, no. Like I actually picked Chikagan to beat Andrade. That was got me. That's what got me messed up. I was like, dang. I can't knock somebody's money like that. Not when they're touching M's off of doing what they're doing. If you know how to play the game, you play the game. Because there's a lot of fighters could do what she does, as far as making money. But the UFC really should replace Ebos with Manon. We don't need the Ebos fight. We really don't. That's why I say until then, maybe we could do Manon versus Grasso. I would love to see Manon versus Grasso. I did. I think I did. I did make that pick. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. I was giving Chikagan a chance in that fight over Andrade. Yeah. Like that was like one of the only other times I picked against Andrade, Like there's certain people I just know, Andrade's gonna, trash, but I took Chikagan. I was like, Chikagan's like 6 inches taller, like a 9-inch reach. I know I'm exaggerating on some of this, but I'm pretty close. She had like a 9-inch reach advantage. I was like, come on, this is what she's gonna do. And she had some decent moments. It was just that body shot, man. And this was her first fight at flyweight. I was like, I wasn't sold on Andrade at flyweight yet, but now when she came through, I was like, okay, everybody she fights at flyweight, she'll beat except Valentina. I don't know what I was on when I thought Calvillo was going to win. I almost thought almost was a little sold on Calvillo, but then I was like, oh no, this is Andrade. And then Andrade went in there and stopped Calvillo. I was like, there we go. Back to reality. I don't know what I was thinking on that one. Well, no, I did pick Andrade, so I don't know what I was about to think. Andrade over Calvillo all day. But I gave Chikagan a chance because I was like, this is her division, and she's got the size and length, man. Yeah, Andrade's a beast stick, dog. Yeah, like the more and more I learn to appreciate her, because she fights. She fights. Stray said, any news on Maya's contract situation? That was her last fight, and haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything yet. Nothing yet. I think they'll re-sign Jennifer Maya though, because Jennifer Maya is still a test out here. Y'all know she is, right? Jennifer Maya is still a test for these fighters out there. Because Jennifer Maya fights down. She still beats some of these fighters out here. Yeah, man. That I remember they made that call out at the Invicta. They made that call out backstage at the Invicta, one of the Invicta cards, and Calvillo said she wanted that fight. But when fight night came, Calvillo, she realized that she messed up. Right? That was when she realized that she kind of messed up. She was like, "Uh-oh. Did I just call this girl out?" When Andrade came in with that full force, she was like, "Oh snap! Why did I do this?" that was I noticed that look too, man. I noticed that like when I was watching it that night, I was like, Cavillo looks like she's just waiting at this point. She's just waiting for what Andrade wants to do. I'm gonna just wait. She's just waiting it out. Oh, okay. Zama said Jennifer Maya, she did resign. Okay, cool. She did resign recently. Okay. Stick Dog said, I don't think Andrade can beat Rose or Valentina. I don't know. She'll never beat Valentina. I can confidently say that, but her and Rose split two fights that don't look like the easiest style matchup for her. I'm just saying. I confidently say Valentina always wins against Andrade, but Rose, they got a good little rivalry. We need one more fight. Andrade just brings too much for her. Every now and then she can handle it in some moments, but no. Oh, Ernest, that fight is off actually. The Fortino fight with Calvillo is off now. You talking about the Brianna fight? Yeah. I think Brianna pulled out the fight. Yeah, if Maya signed, yeah, she still brings a big threat. Cause like I said, man, Maya, like Manon just showed us that she was ready for it and she's ready to go, but Maya still can be a test for the lower part of the division. The Joker said Andrade and Shevchenko are special. They don't come to play. That's true. They don't. Andrade can be a little one dimensional, but she still don't play. Mojo said, I think Maya gets signed for at least a couple more fights. Yeah, I would still give her like another 3-fight contract because she's still dangerous. Gabrielle said Marina versus Manon, who would win? Let's see. Marina versus Manon, I would go with I'll go with Manon in that one. All right, Stray says gotta go. I'm gonna go with Manon on that because I think, if it's at 125, if you're asking 125, I'll go with Manon because of the strength there and the takedown. Striking might be interesting, but even then, I think Manon could out wrestle Marina, and that big of a fighter could really hurt her on the ground. Like she could survive against Mackenzie Dern, but Manon's wrestling is pretty powerful, and her ground and pound is pretty solid on the ground. Oh, they rescheduled for June. Okay. It's Brianna Van Buren, TJ. That's her name, she got married. It's Fortino now. Brianna Fortino now. Was it rescheduled? Let me double check here. Yeah, okay. June 4th. That'll mark about 2 years since her last fight. Oh, hey, TJ, what about your other girl? She changed her name. What is her name? Velismus. She went from Bias to Velismus. Marcia Rose said that when she was healing from that broken nose, that was the most uncomfortable she's been in her entire life. I don't think she wants any more Andrade if she can avoid it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's a style matchup there that's going to always be seesawing, man. Like, I can't say Rose beats Shevchenko. Rose beats Andrade 5 out of 5 times, or well, definitely not 5 out of 5. They already split a fight. Like, I can't say she wins the next 5 whenever. It's always been kind of an uncomfortable style for, it's always been back and forth. I want to see the best 2 out of 3 though. I mean, who wants that rematch? I do. They just make a good fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh. Stick Dog said, did Rose really lose that fight? The first fight? No, yeah, I know you ain't talking about the first fight. Second fight. Yeah, we know she lost the first fight. Did she really lose the second fight? Did she really win the first fight, you mean? I think she did enough to win the rematch, yeah. But I mean, it was very, very close though. So Rose, she escaped by, she survived, pulled out a split decision. And now it being 1-1, it's kind of like got you really wanting, like you want to see more, because their styles were just that type of matchup, like where they both can't they both can't capitalize like they want to. And that's what makes the game crazy, because Joanna, she'll take Andrade to school all day, you know what I mean, with her jab. But for some reason Rose can't do like that. Rose can beat Joanna, but she can't do that to her. It's weird. I don't know where she's at now, TJ. Did I don't think she got cut though. I don't think she got cut. Brian Williams said 60-40 Rose. What, an Andrade fight? I don't know, man. I think it's closer than that. I'd say it's still almost like 50-50 again. Maybe, yeah, 50-50. It's got to be 50-50 for me, because the way Andrade won the first fight, the way Rose won the second fight, Joker said Rose will duck Lamos and Dern. Dang. Yeah, I don't know if she gonna want that Lamo smoke right away. She ain't gonna want that Lamo smoke. She gonna wait about 2 or 3 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah, Lamos is a monster though. I think like Angela Hill is just an awkward style, but like remember Andrade didn't finish Angela Hill. Joker said, "Oh no, MMA Art says she KO'd Joanna because of the bad weight cut. That's that." Yeah, that second fight was tough though. Brian Williams said, "Who is Rose ducked?" Some say, let's see if TJ agrees with this. Some people say she avoided the fight with Claudia Gadelia. Like I said, I don't have any receipts on that one, but some people do say that. Like I don't have the receipts, but some people have told me that she didn't want the Claudia Gadelia fight, or that was a fight she just avoided. That would have been a good fight too. Yeah, I've heard that before. Man, wish Tatiana was still there, but that's just something else, you know. Gabriella, what's next for the winner and the loser of Zhang versus Joanna? I think for Zhang Wei Li, if she beats Joanna again, she might fight somebody like Dern or Rodriguez. Because I don't think Zhang Wei Li will jump right back into a third fight, seeing how she lost two to Rose. So I think if Zhang Wei Li beats an unranked Joanna, she'll probably she'll probably fight the loser of Esparza Rose, maybe, or somehow get thrown into a fight with Marina Rodriguez. Because I don't know if people would want to see her going for a third fight right away. And Joanna, I don't know, man. If Joanna loses, she might leave. Who knows? Like, ain't this the last fight on her contract? You know, Joanna might call it a day, depending on how she looks. Like, if she looks really bad, like Joanna would probably leave. Okay. Let's see. She couldn't finish Angela Hill. Andrade, right? Or Lamos. You mean Lamos? Yeah, Lamos couldn't. Andrade couldn't either. Mo just said, "I hope JJ and Whaley is a banger like the first fight. That was off the chain." Yeah, that first fight, man, was crazy. I don't know if we'll get the same type of banger, because both fighters will be a little wiser, and they might, let's be real. Joanna probably don't want to go through that again, having that head swell up that big. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, she was probably in like a lot of pain. I mean, everything checked out fine, but her brain was probably mm, like it was probably going through some hell that night. So it would be good for us. It would be good for us. But other than that, will we get a banger? I hope. I do hope though. Brian said, "Who has finished Hill? Randall Marcos and Rose. I think they both submitted her in the first round, right?" Random Marcos, Rose Namajunas, they both finished Angela Hill. TJ said another fight like that, Joanna Whaley. Yeah, they'll need to retire. Yeah. I think if Whaley, came out on top, I don't think she would, but I think Joanna, she would. Yeah, I did, TJ. I saw her face when the swelling went down. Her face was black, man. Like, when it was just like one big bruise, man. Yeah, that was crazy, man. Like her head and face were like, well, her head, of course, we saw it at night, but when her head, s- you know, swelling was gone, face was like purple and black, man. It was like one big bruise. So that's that's the outcomes of a war. Gabriella said with Whaley versus J with Whaley versus hold on, let me sit up. I'm sorry, I was sitting down. Would JJ versus Whaley 2 headline at a fight night with a crowd, or would it be a co-main event? I would like it to be a fight night main event, just so everybody could experience that. That would be a good idea. Cause I've thought that too. I was like, M- Marina versus Joanna's a good like fight night main event, but they would probably make it a co-main event like they did Rose Whaley too. It would probably be like a co-main event. I think it would be another 5 round co-main event because it's on a bigger platform and in front of the crowd. And Joanna's went on record said she don't want to fight unless it's in front of crowds. That was all the way back in 2020. Now, dang, she said that back then, and she still ain't fought. It's been a minute. So yeah, she would probably want to be on the co-main event of a pay-per-view. And when it comes down to it, I think, yeah, something like her and Marina, I think would be better on fight night card. Yeah, those fights take years off your career, man. Yeah, like who knows what is taken out of Whaley? Like Whaley probably just don't show it like her. I mean, yeah, like with the face alone and like the way she came out looking, I'm like, her skull and her brain was probably like in a lot of torture the next few weeks. The stuff they don't feel with. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when Joe. I remember. I remember JoJo said that about Andrade back then. She was like, she thinks she's on steroids. Her and what is her name? I think Ashling Daly said that. Excuse me, the Irish fighter. I think it was Ashling Daly and Joanne. They were kind of going in on some of them fighters. Mark Robinson said, "Did you know that Claudia said that she didn't think it was fair for Andrade to fight in strawweight because she was simply too strong? This was after Andrade beat Rose." Yeah, I seen that interview. I remember that interview because I was watching that interview and she said Claudia was like, "There's something different about Jessica Andrade." And this is coming from Claudia. Claudia was like, "There's something different. Like she's just too strong, or like her strength is different. Like I've never felt strength like that before." Like she was hitting around at something. Yeah, I remember that, Mark, because that was like 2015, 2016, something like that. And she was, just talking about Andrade. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I used to think the same thing. I used to kind of wonder about that stuff. Because after she fought her, she was like, "I never felt strength like that before." James Perez, they should do JJ versus Whaley right away before matching it with anyone else to fight to make before both. Yeah, I agree. Like there was 3 fights I really wanted, and that was Mackenzie Dern and Marina. That happened. Now we got Rose and Carla. That's happening. And then I wanted Whaley and Joanna. So let me get my third fight. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, she just wants that bread, man. She wants to get that bread back. Yeah, MMA, or I hope it is a 5 round fight though. It should be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, but it would be nice if we did get another 5 rounder. Yeah, there's them articles. TJ posted them there. Yeah. Brian Williams said, JoJo, I lost my street cred. Y'all be talking about her calling. Wait, did she lost her street cred too with the Casey O'Neill thing, right? She was snitching, right? Y'all know I like JoJo, but y'all said she out here snitching. She straight dry snitching. All right. James Press, even at flyweight, Andrade is probably strong, but Bullet just changed that whole conception right away. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think she might just be strong. Like Andrade don't really look like in the face and in her body. It don't really look like she's It don't really look like she's on anything, man. She's just like naturally strong. I mean, she might just be, she's just a farm girl out there. Okay. Marcus said, do you remember when Melissa Gatto got popped and which she delayed her debut? Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I think I talked about it like when she made her comeback. She was out like 3 years, right? I think I'm kind of guessing, right? I'm off top. It was like 3 years, right? Her debut got put off for 3 years because of that popping situation. Because I remember they were going to sign her, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, she's tested positive," and I was like, "Oh snap!" Then I forgot all about her. I mean, there's like a lot of these fighters that get dirty out there, man. Like most of got popped, right? You know. Brian Williams said Whaley versus JJ versus JJ versus Rose, JJ versus Carla, JJ versus Valentina. Arguably best WMMA fights in UFC history. What's the common denominator? Yeah, those are some of my favorite fights too. So I'm gonna go a little easy on Joanna. I'm gonna go a little easy on her now, because she did lay down. She was getting on my nerves with some of the talk about wanting to fight for the belt, but she makes some good fights. I mean, when you break it down in that perspective and you name all them fights, and I'm like, a lot of those fights are my favorite fight list. I'm like, yeah, you know, the common denominator is JJ. And people call her the decision queen, but she makes a darn good fight. So I'm gonna go a little easy on her. I mean, she's not the pay-per-view draw like Conor McGregor, right? I think we know that, but she is what makes a lot of these fights good. She makes a lot of these fights good. So I'm gonna be a little, lenient on the fact that she has given me some good entertainment over the years. And Brian said I've never been a fan, but JJ is one of the best to ever do it, no doubt. Yeah, I've been a fan. Yeah, I've been a fan of her style. Yeah, for me. But yeah, when you put all them fights into perspective, it's like, yeah, like she's been doing it. So maybe I could say, see, it's not a problem if you want to take a 2 year break. That's not where it is for me. It was for wanting to just come back and fight for the belt. I never said Joanna didn't deserve a break, but it's the fact that you want to come back and just fight for the belt right away. Not a lot of people do that. It's fine if you want to take a break. Yeah, that's cool. James Perez said, "What's your picks?" I got Volkanovski, Jan, and Hamzat. Let me see. Let me see who I got. I gotta let me pull up the card here. All right. I'm gonna start with the Dern fight, of course. I mean, I already gave you my pick, but hold on. Hold on. MJ said, "Wow, did Melissa Gatto get popped? It's almost like all these Brazilian fighters are on something. Even Lemos got popped. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Lemos got popped. She was out for about 2 years. Don't forget, what is that girl's name? Cochiera? No, what is her name? There's this one fighter. Gosh, I can't remember her name. Brazilian fighter. She got popped not too long ago and she got cut, and she's banned for like 2 or 3 years. Is it Cochiera? I mean, Marcus, you probably know. I can't think of her name. So yeah, these Brazilian fighters, they they get popped out here and they disappear. Then when you hear about them again, you're like, wow, like I forgot about this person. And you'd be like, what happened? Did they injure? No, they got popped. Yeah, Melissa Gatto got popped almost 3 years ago. That really kind of set her back. I can't think of the name though, man. Like, can't remember that fighter's name, man. Like, yeah, Pena got popped. She got popped 2 years ago, but this was a Brazilian fighter. She got popped, and she got popped for some hard stuff too. She was always coming in kind of big too. Not Carl. Yeah, Carnelosi's one. Carnelosi's one. Is it Duda Santana? Hold on. She got the tattoos, and she got tattoos and like short hair. I think she was. I can't remember the girl she was fighting about. Oh no. Yeah, this is a different one. This is a different one. Yeah, but yeah, she's on that list. Duda Santana. What is this girl's name? Not Priscilla Cachoeira, but who is this girl she fought? Let me see. Um, every time a name gets stuck in my head, I have to keep looking. I get distracted. Yeah, Duda Santana's one. Carlos got popped. I mean, yeah, KGB. Yeah, we all know she got popped. Yeah, she was trying to say. I mean, Carlosi, we can kind of see. I mean, that girl got guns, right? I mean, look at her guns. I mean, she's got like what Tisha Torres has times 7. MJ said, I'm a fan of Joanna too, but she needs to stop doing the rematches with top fighters. She's holding up the division. Yeah, like I'm a fan of what she's done, but I don't want to see no title shot. Stick Figures, what's up? He said, does Joanna have the skill to beat Valentina in any way? She been in there 3 times in Muay Thai, once in MMA. Does she have the skill? All I can say is like, I don't think so. It's hard to say like never for a fighter, but I don't no, I don't think she can. Like, because I was trying to think of the ground game as well, but no, like I don't think she might give some tough fights to Valentina, here and there. Like if they fought 3, 4, 5 times, she might win a couple rounds here and there. But I think no, Valentina just is all around better skill. I don't think Joanna can ever really beat her. And now that they get older, one just gets older, the other gets better, and that's Valentina. So now stick figures, I don't think she ever does. Mark Robinson said we have to point out that JJ has decisively beat all the women who beat Rose, Tisha, Carla, Andrade, Carolina. So Joanna's still the strawweight GOAT for me until Rose defends it a bit better. Wow, that's everybody make their arguments, and I mean they make good points. I mean, Joanna was more of a dominant champion there, and like the people that Joanna was beating, she was making them look average, below average. Whereas Rose kind of struggled with all those fighters. But then Rose just had what it took to beat Wei Lee. And then had what it took to beat Joanna 2 times. But weird. It's just weird like that sometimes. But as far as like a title reign, Joanna did have that nice little go. Yeah. Nice little go. Okay. James Perez, you can say JJ is still the strawweight GOAT. Rose not too far behind her, though. I mean, she did lay down the groundwork there. I mean, her style was just so dominant, man. It was just so dominant. And you got to think about it, too. The more and more you watch a fighter, somebody's going to come along that can beat you decisively when they keep watching you. They'll perfect their style to beat you. Where Joanna, she was beating everybody, all different types of styles she was beating, but then Rose was perfecting her game. She comes in, beats her. Let's see here. Andrade just posted up. Can't wait to feel this emotion again. I guess Andrade is getting ready to fight, boy. This fight is this month. I keep forgetting Andrade and Lemos is this month. Dang. I'm excited. We got Dern, Torres. Now we got Lemos, Andrade, April 30th. I know y'all ready for that. Some of y'all that just came in, MJ, Stick Figures. I know y'all ready for Andrade Lemos, April 30th. Let's see, Mark said, if Rose beats Carla and beats Marina, then maybe she gets the nod. Yeah, if she doesn't like dominant fashion or really proves it, or if she could go 4 title defenses, I think we could argue it's hers. It's hers from there. Because then it would be about the quality. James says she beat her twice. That counts for a lot. And she beat a lot of other great fighters too. She lost to. That's why I still give it to JJ as the GOAT. But it's not like it's not like she's just so ahead of Rose. Right. There's two, and again, 2 of the best female fighters in this world is Valentina and Thug Rose. Yeah, pound for pound, Valentina is above a lot of fighters, As I said, Andrade will beat Lemos. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a good one. It's a 5-round fight, too. Dang, this will be a good fight. Mark said Rose probably would have done worse against Valentina than Joanna did. I agree with that. I think it comes down to the grittiness in there, the dog. It comes down to the dog and the durability of these fighters. Like, yeah, Rose knocked Joanna out with one clean, perfect shot, but overall, Joanna is very tough. Her exterior is hard. Like that Muay Thai's got her body, her legs, and her frame, very, very tough to a point where she can take a lot of the hard hits and the ragdolling, right? Like she still has a good amount of strength in there and work rate and cardio that keeps her balanced. Like her physical strength and overall strength in general, Joanna is like no other. You know what I mean? Like years and years of Muay Thai helped build that. That's why I say years and years of Muay Thai and wrestling. Those are two really good disciplines that make you really, really, really powerful and just hard shell. Valentina couldn't stop her because, she's just that tough. But, Rose has gotten harder, but she's not as like solid, even like the frame, the legs, she's a little bit more frail, it ain't a bad thing. I mean, just saying, like some women are just built different. And if you don't have years and years of Muay Thai like that, that won't toughen up your shins, it won't toughen up your core. Like that just comes with the territory of having that hard shell developed from countless Muay Thai battles, and hard drills like that. So yeah, like Valentina could walk Rose down and just stop her like that. Let's be real. Body shots might hurt her more, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just how it is. I mean, Marina Rodriguez, she's a hard puncher, but she's a little bit easy to kind of throw around and get down. I mean, she can get back up quick, but even Marina Rodriguez can kind of get tossed around. Even though she's coming from that Muay Thai background, I think it just comes down to what type of dog and what type of Muay Thai fighter you really built yourself as. Yeah, Valentina's more stationary. Yeah, she sits down on her punches. Darby Crash said he'll start at the beginning. He said he late. Yeah, he missed a lot. Go all the way back 3 hours. TJ been in it. When TJ left and came back, he been in it for the long haul tonight, right? TJ said Rose number 2 behind Valentina. By what metric? Record Nunes beat Cyborg. Yeah, I still say Nunes is that top dog. Nunes and Shevchenko are the top dogs. You missed hour 4 yesterday, TJ. Hour 4. If you just came in, make sure you hit the like button, like always. Oh, y'all been doing that. I appreciate that though. Fight week coming up. We talk about different things, different fighters over here. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because like I said, don't have a lot of we don't have a great deal of support for the women out there. I try to give that support to them. There's a few channels out here, of course, right? But WMMA don't really get the respect like that. Okay. Dang, TJ moved to Florida. TJ down in Florida now. Okay. They made the move to Florida. Sunny Florida. Where were you moving from? He said he's trying to settle in. Okay. Where about did you move from? Slide him out of the building. What's going on? He said he late, but he's here. Yeah, I did watch the video, man. Let me talk about that here in a minute, because I might play it for y'all, because there's some good stuff he had said. Now I can't believe I missed that. But hold on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh wow, sold the truck business and moved to Florida. Dang, sounds like an early retirement plan. Wow, congratulations selling that, man. I mean, you want to retire as early as you can. Okay, yeah, let me play it here. I mean, hold on. Yeah, I really don't care for Joe Rogan, but I want to hear what I'm gonna make an exception this once, because I want to hear what GPSP has to say here. I want y'all to hear what you were talking about. Okay, he said a few more years moving to Thailand. Dang.
Stuff for 4 years. Then when I came back, I some of my circuit in the brain. Then I started to analyze myself. I'm like, why I become crazy? Why did I stop? Because I'm taking this stuff too seriously, man. You have to take it for what it is. Like it's a world championship fight. I was fighting Michael Bisping. After 4 years, people, oh my god, the fight are promoted on drama. Yeah. And like John said, John Danar, he says like fight are not one on drama, are on mundane things than we do every day. Yeah. That's how fight are won. Yeah. How you program your cruise your cruise driver, to your autopilot to win the fight. That's how you me. I see it. I fight like an autopilot. Like so when I prepare myself for a fight, especially with the tactical part, I program like a computer. How I want to react against that specific problem. How I'm gonna take care of that specific problem. The only way to program it is to do repetition, repetition, and repetition, and repetition, and repetition. It's like he said at one point, Eddie Bravo, he said like tying up your shoes. Yes. Because we've been doing it so many times, you can talk to someone, the same thing. Yes. When I get into a fight, I analyze again and I'm fighting.
Him just say his accent.
He does the most
Yeah,
often.
this is the most I ever like just sat down and listened to him talk.
My computer to react to that pattern that would give me the advantage into the fight. I don't know when that pattern would occur. When I want to program myself that when it occurs, I have an answer for it right away. I don't have to think about it. I don't think. I just react. And that's my problem when I used to fight. And I got a lot of criticism before. I was thinking too much. Towards the end of my career, I had so much pressure. I didn't perform as well as I was earlier. Especially my last fight before I stopped for the 4 years. I was thinking too much, overthinking, putting too much pressure. Like you said, it's too serious. You have to take it for what it is. It's only a fight. 10 years, it sucks if you lose, but man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Don't make it bigger than what it is. It's only a fight, and sometimes it's something very therapeutic that I like to do before a fight. I drive a car. When I fight in Vegas, for example, I drive a car, or New York, same thing. I drive a car. When I used to fight in Vegas before my fights, I used to be very, very stressed. And one very therapeutic things that I like to do is drive my car around and see normal people. And I go and I gotta explain to you why I drive and I see an old lady with her grocery store bag. And I'm thinking, like, she doesn't care if I win the fight Saturday or not. She's not even gonna hear about it. Then I look, it's another guy yelling to another guy because
like Van Damme, MJ, it's like Van Damme or
the bank to pay his mortgage stuff. They don't care. They don't care. The effect that I have on the universe is so freaking small. Nobody cares. I'm the only one putting the pressure on me. Nobody gives a damn about it. So that's what helped me to perform now. That's how some younger guys they say, "Yeah, I'm nervous. How do I heard you don't sleep well the night before?" I said, "Yeah, it's true. I don't sleep well." It's like, "What is your trick? How do you find a way to sleep well?" It's like, I don't really sleep well either nowadays. It's like, well, how do you feel better about it? Like, I just know that I'm not gonna sleep well, and it's not gonna affect the outcome of the competition. It's just a normal thing. You learn how to deal with it better. You're not gonna change it. Yeah. You just accept it. Yeah. The stress is your friend, man. That's gonna make you react. That's gonna be on the edge. Have you ever slept well before a fight? Never. Never. Only one time. Which fight? When I fought Matt Serra. And I got knocked out.
Wow.
And then after that knocked out, I got so scared that it happened again. It's the most humiliating day of my career. I was so angry. Like I said, I was putting too much on myself. It started there. It's like I didn't even want to go to buy eggs at the grocery store, right? Because people, they look, you get knocked out. Like I thought everybody cares about me. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares. It's only a small percentage of population. Nobody gives a damn. And even if they do, what? You make a mistake. You zig when you should have zagged. You get clipped. So what? Everybody make mistake. You have to take fight like it is. It's a sporting event. That's why I don't take it personally. Like when I have the problem with the Diaz, no problem, man. It's a fight. It's not personal for me. You're in my life now. You won't be there in 10 years, maybe. Maybe you will. Who knows? It's only like a chunk of life that we share together. And then after he's gone, no problem with that.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. I think what he said, you got to think about it. Like when you, like he said, when you take things too personally, that makes your mind go into that realm of being like emotional, and that's one of the worst things, man, when a fighter can fight emotionally, right? Because then you're not thinking about the job, you're not thinking about what you need to do, what needs to be done technically, you're thinking out of emotion. Uh, so hold on. Okay. Yeah, but what he said makes a lot of sense, man. Like taking that stuff too personal, worried about what other people think. Nah, like forget that. Yeah, like it happens. You're still alive. You made it through. Big deal. You got knocked out. You're still alive. You can come back from it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's speaking facts, MJ. Yeah. Slight of my. Everyone makes mistakes, man, and I think that is a good thing. When fighters they can not stress over a big fight, if they can just take it as a task that comes up and make sure they're prepared for it. That's going to be a huge part of what gets these contenders being a champion. TJ said educate these characters. Educate on what? About what he said, or what are y'all talking about? Did I miss something? I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to that video. Some of y'all were listening to it. Slider Mind said he slept good once and he got knocked out. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. The night he slept good is the night that he got slept. Wow. He said that's why Grasso, I said Grasso's different. She's on a different level now mentally. They said champions choose their opponents. Champions choose their opponents. No, I don't think they choose their opponents. You're pretty much fighting whoever the matchmakers put in front of you that thinks that person's next for the belt. Excuse me. what's the purpose of title eliminators then? Like MMA art said champions have their option to pick their opponents. Do you mean like there's a time when they can pick their opponent, like every now and then? But for the most part, that's what the purpose of a title eliminator is, right? I think it all depends on the contract. Like there might be a time where you can say, "Oh, let me get this person," but for the most part, when you're champion, you're gonna have to fight whoever they put in front of you. Like I don't think Rose. It's up to Rose. It wasn't up to Rose. And Rose went on record to say it wasn't up to her. She said she wanted Carla, right? But she didn't get Carla, so she couldn't have picked her champion, right? She had to fight Wei Lee the second time. Even like whenever she was discussing like if Wei Lee was going to be the rematch, she said it might be. She said at the time she was thinking Carla was going to be that fighter, but it turned out to be Wei Lee. So yeah, she didn't have to call. Yeah, like Rose didn't get to pick her champion. I mean, she didn't get to pick her title defense. Excuse me. No, she had to fight Wei Lee once, had to fight her again. Then she had to fight her. Now she's fighting Carla, right? So same with the rematch with Joanna. She had to fight whoever they put in front of her. Exactly, Darby Crash. Like boxing is where you start to pick your opponents now because there's a lot of leeway. There's a lot of belts. There's a lot of belts. There's a lot of sanctioning bodies. You can drop your IBF belt, go to the WBA or go to the WBC and fight these other mandatories that nobody really knows, right? So when you're talking about boxing, like Darby Crash said, yeah, boxing, you can pick. But in the UFC, for the most part, you might get a little leeway here and there. Like if you had to take some time off, they might say, yeah, we can give you this. But for the most part, they're gonna make you fight whoever the number one contender is and the matchmakers, whoever they decide for you. Because if that was the case, all of these fighters, they would be picking. They would be picking, man. That's the whole point of why people like MMA and the UFC more than boxing right now is because they're making the fights that the fans want because the champions can't pick and choose, right? So Rose, I have to go to her again because everybody thought that after that knockout, Carla was going to get the shot. After Wei Lee got knocked out, Carla was going to get the shot in between, right? But no, Dana wanted Wei Lee rematch right now, so Rose had to fight her. Rose said, I would like to fight Carla, but no, that didn't happen. Rose had to wait and say, if she had her choice, she would have fought. But no, she had to fight Wei Lee. She had to do what the UFC says. But for the most part, you fighting whoever they want. Valentina doesn't make her choice. Valentina doesn't pick her champions. I mean, she doesn't pick her challengers. Sorry. She doesn't pick her title defenses. Valentina always says, I'll fight whoever's next. I'm fighting whoever's next when they ask. Because if they ask who's next, they would tell you who they wanted next, right? Because that means that's how fights get made. The matchmakers make the fight when it comes down to it. If that was the case, then everybody would, Valentina said, I want Misha, then Misha Tate would be like, oh man, I can't fight Lauren Murphy. I got to fight her next. You know what I mean? Oh, Slight of Mine said, I have a legitimate question. Do you believe Nunes took a dive? Also, who do you think wins the Nunes Pena 2 rematch? Do I think she took a dive? I don't think she did take a dive. I think she kind of gave out, but I don't think she took a dive. I think Nunes has a good chance to win the rematch, but I think Pena just has her number when it comes to being there mentally and, you know, psychologically. You know, she has that edge. So Pena still has a good chance to do it again. But Nunes, if Nunes cleans up what she did in the first round, I think Nunes could win the fight again. I mean, not again, but I think she could win the game, win the fight. You know, I mean, the game's always, you know, iffy in MMA, but yeah, I think Nunes could win the fight. I don't think she took a dive. No, I think she just didn't come in mentally prepared and like she should have been, which ain't it. It's not an excuse in the game. What happened here? I pulled up the YouTube here. What happened? Who over here? Y'all timing people out? No name. Y'all got name calling. TJ said he warned you not doing personal insults. Make your argument, keep it moving. All right. And he said no name calling. MMR said she chose Rhonda. I don't think that was like really her full choice. I think that was like a full agreement to me. I think that was a full agreement. You know, they had to agree on that too. I don't think they would just gave it to her unless they wanted it as well. You know, there's still a lot of money to be made off of Rhonda. So, but you know, Valentina doesn't choose hers. I think, you know, when it comes down to it, she's not choosing. Marcus said Juliana's trying to choose Rousey. She better stop that talk right now. Yeah, like I said, just make your point without insults. You know, yeah, it's not personal like that. You know, if you got a point to make, that's fine. But you know, no, no name calling. But you don't have to block them right now, though. Like if you felt that was too much, TJ, yeah, you can do what you do. Yeah, I give you a chance. You don't have to block the person, though. Mm-mm-mm. Darby Crash said Valentina would choose Nunes, but Nunes is yesterday's news. Right. And even then, like if she did, that's a legit choose, right? Like if she did choose her, that's a legit pick because that's somebody that holds wins over her. I guess what I'm getting at is like there's no cherry picking in MMA, right? Robert Henry said late again, 2 more hours. He late, boy. 2 more hours. Shoot. Trying to kick a midnight show. I don't know. Yeah, 2J. I know you didn't block. I'm just saying, like, it give him a chance. I know what you like. I said, yeah, no name calling, no. No, if we do 2 more hours, TJ gonna be blocking everybody then, boy. TJ said I'm blocking everybody. If we only hit 2 hours, he blocking everybody. Gabrielle said who should be in the pound for pound women list and who shouldn't be in the UFC list. I was looking at that list the other day. Hold on. Teacher said I never blocked anybody. No, I know you didn't. I'm saying if we were on here 2 hours, you probably would start blocking people just because. And man, and Dana are friends. And of course, he won't let her fight Cyborg again to protect his golden goose like he did with Ronda. Let's see. Gabriella, who deserves to be, well, in the pound for pound women's list, I know Nunes, Shevchenko, Rose, Pena, Zhang Weili, Andrade, they deserve to be there. I'm not so sure about Aspen Ladd, Gabriella. Who doesn't deserve to be there? I don't know about Aspen Ladd or Mackenzie Dern. I guess they're just going for who's ever at the top of the bantamweight list and the top of all of these lists. They got Irene Aldana. I guess Dern. I kind of question Dern and Ladd. Dang, Holly Holm is pretty high up at number 7. Is she still pound for pound? She has a lot of losses though, right? I don't know. I think when it gets to I think 1 through 6 is okay, but from there, I think a lot are kind of questionable, Gabriella. Marcel, I'm sure a small part of Val Smiles' side because Nunes won, probably. But she probably, maybe not because she wanted to do it. MJ said Pena killed Dana White's Kayla Harrison's dream. Yeah, she did. Anyway, she killed that dream. Brian said, oh, you mean Holly Holm? Holly only loves the champions and she beat GDR. Yeah, you say you're going to block Robert Henry? Nah, ain't blocking Robert Henry. I think Robert Henry is super moderator status over here, right? Robert Henry's got the savage status. So I think Robert Henry's got savage moderator status. Yeah, when I look at this pound for pound list, like 1 through 6, I think are kind of legit to me. But down 7 and 15, it just gets a little shaky. I guess because it's kind of just based off of who's high up in their rankings. But like, are they really, really some of the best at what they do right now? I don't know. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, MJ, discussing Pena. Pena went in on Kayla Harrison in her resume. Which I agree with some of the things she said. If Kayla wants to do her thing and fight this level of competition, just stay over there at PFL and we fine. But on that note, we had a good conversation tonight. So I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. I am hungry. So once again, good conversation, everybody. But yeah, y'all gotta watch that name calling or wrenches. They act up. People get timed out. You start calling people names. So don't do that. That's all I ask. He said for hour 4. Yeah, she said Pena didn't hold back. Yeah, she didn't hold back on that. Like, she ain't got no filter when it come down to it. I mean, she called Kayla Harrison's resume tomato cans. And like I said, tomato cans, like, if a fighter uses it, hey, I guess, hey, look, they can say it. So Kayla got mad when the fans said it, but Juliana Pena, she's using the term too. She's describing her resume. So hey. Yeah, Mojo, I appreciate you as always. Let me close this stuff out. But yeah, like always, man, just make sure y'all subscribe. And I got more of a Chikagan gas tank, TJ. I got the Chikagan gas tank. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm about to get up out of here. Like always, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button, do that. And hit that there's a bell icon next to subscribe, so you know when I get on, you can be notified. Hit that. Yeah, Pena said tomato can, so I can't get mad at her. She knows the game. She's on her level, so there must be some truth to it here. Robert said Holly's one of the highest women rated on a main events card replacement. Robert here said he got Cashapp status. Stick Dog said, I'm going to leave the show. He said, out of your thumbnail, I got Tisha, Lab, not Pena, Shevchenko, and Rose. Well, you ain't got to leave permanently if that's what you mean. If there's name calling, somebody does that, hey. Gabriel's opinion probably wants Harrison super fight now. Yeah, I don't know if she was come over for that though. She would take it, but I don't know if Kayla Harrison would sign over for that. Yeah, Stick Dogs. Hey, you want to stick around? It's fine. Just avoid the name calling. Everybody cool. You can have your conversation and your points, but it's all good. It's never that serious. Man. He said hour 4. 3:27. I'm done. Here we go. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all Friday. Y'all hear me up long enough. Yeah, I was on long haul, Robert, because yesterday I already ate, but this time I did. So, like, share, subscribe, and if you missed the live, you can come back and comment later or scrub back and listen. Combo Breaker 99. I am out, y'all. I'll catch y'all Friday. Peace.